Shoots one into center field. He's come through. Clemente to score. Jimenez right behind him. And Nathan Lucas has delivered.
Using three players in that spot in the order. That ball is hit well into deep left center field. And this is going to fly out of here. JT Realmuto. Second hit of the game. And his first home run of this division series. He's made it 4-1 Phillies.
1-2 pitch. There it is! The Toronto Blue Jays have punched their ticket to the championship series. Going through the New York Yankees in 4 games. And again, withstanding the Yankees' best punch.
The Yankees lose! The Yankees lose! Let's go, baby!
But you don't take it personal. I get it.
One more. The Yankees lose!
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's a Thursday edition of The Zone right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy. We head up until 2 o'clock. We'll talk some baseball today. We'll talk some NFL football, some college football throughout the show. We will hear from Matt Lane, KC Sports Network, the KC Laboratory podcast coming up at 11 o'clock. The Kansas City Chiefs today, Coordinator Day. Dave Tobe, Steve Spagnuolo, Matt Nagy, Chris Jones, typically on a Thursday. We'll see. And then Sports or Leisure in the 1 o'clock hour today as well. 913-912-4810 is the text line. Eagles, Giants tonight right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB with Thursday Night Football. A couple of elimination games coming up tonight in Major League Baseball as the Cubs and Brewers take on each other in Wrigley. And, of course, the Phillies and Dodgers there in L.A. as the Dodgers, again, trying to stave off elimination. They send out their Cy Young candidate to the mound to try to get this one back to Philly to see if the Phillies can do what the Dodgers did, which is win both games in the opposing ballpark. So we'll see what happens later on tonight. We know that the Blue Jays have advanced. They knocked off the Yankees. We got a Game 5 with Detroit and Seattle in the American League Divisional Series in that one, which should be a lot of fun as well to watch. So we'll see. But yes, and yes. Last night, it was yet another year where the Yankees could not purchase a championship. Maybe next year. You know what? Maybe there's always next year, New York. There's always next year to do eventually what the Royals have done since you did it. There's always next year to try to purchase it. You know, you could try again. And I love last year, right, when they lost to the Dodgers, and I tweeted out, another year where the Yankees couldn't purchase a championship. And then the reaction, like, to that tweet of how many people were like, dude, do you know who they played? I'm like, yeah, a team that purchased a championship. That's who they played. A team that actually was able to do it. A team that paid a lot of money and won the championship. You know what the Yankees aren't doing? Paying a lot of money and winning a championship. It's too bad. It's too damn bad. It was also Chef's Kiss Extra Special. And yes, believe me, this is all Schadenfreude. I fully admit that. It's the Yankees, though.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Growing up in my house, Tom Watson was a godlike figure, and the Yankees were the devil. That's just what I was brought up on. And it is a little bit more of a chef's kiss that an elimination game, it was Jazz's error that led to the runs that won the game for the Blue Jays. Oh, that's just perfect. I wonder if the Blue Jays got lucky last night. Are the Yankees sore losers?
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah, good call.
I guess you'd have to ask Jazz. You'd have to ask Jazz what it is. Like, are the Blue Jays just a lucky team for winning 3 games? I hope there are no sore loser Yankees after this one. But it was nice to see the Blue Jays go and take care of business. And yes, as I tweeted out last night, and then people retweeting or tweeting at me and going, this is the Blue Jays payroll. I'm like, yeah, and they won. That's the point. The Yankees aren't getting it done by spending $300 million. That's all. That's all. Used to be brag-worthy to just go, well, just spend more money, spend more money. Well, Yankees, go spend more money. Just go spend more money. That's what I would say, because that's what Yankees fans would say to Royals fans who were talking about the economics of baseball. Mm-hmm. Well, why are your owners cheap? Just spend more money. Okay, cool. You keep losing. Go spend more money. Go spend more money. That's all. Don't complain about losing. Spend more money.
How about Brad Keller, though, get another save last night?
Good for you, Bradley.
It was so fun. He looks good.
Dude, for real, man. Like, Brad Keller doing his thing.
Gabe Spire, former Royal, did not.
No, he did not. It's okay.
It was a great day of baseball.
It was so much fun, dude. Some really good games, some fun games, some comebacks.
Kershaw, you still feel slightly bad for.
I mean,
I like Kershaw so much because
I do too, dude.
If he had any sort of playoff success, he
legitimately.
legitimately.
And he's had some. It just hasn't been consistently to what he's been in the regular season. That has not been matched in the postseason. Where Salvi has elevated his games in the postseason, right?
And I've pushed back on some of the narrative of the collapse in the playoffs from Kershaw. And this one's hard to. I mean, he's 30, 40 years old, coming out of the bullpen, and it's not his. Yeah, a lot of things of why it wasn't probably going to work this time around. But if Kershaw had any sort of playoff success, like legitimate great playoff success, where he's like doing the Madison Bumgarner stuff, he could have gone down as one of the, if not the greatest left-handed pitcher in Major League Baseball history. Like, I know Steve Carlton. I know there's going to be a lot of other guys, Randy Johnson, the list goes on and on. But when you look at what Kershaw has done in this era, you look at the regular season numbers, I think people will be surprised at how dominant, when people look back, Kershaw was. Kershaw had a string of dominance that had been nearly unparalleled, and his playoff woes will be the one thing that people will point to and say, well, he can't be in these conversations because of this. And last night, again, was just another microcosm of the Kershaw experience.
Yep. I just, and what would be disappointing, and I think this will probably end up being the case, I think what would be disappointing if that's the last time we see him on the mound in his career. Because it's probably the case. I mean, is he going to pitch tonight? Or, I mean, if the Dodgers win tonight, he's probably not pitching. And then they would move on. Maybe he'd get another opportunity. I guess, I shouldn't say that. Because it could be if the Phillies win the next two. Let's just say it that way. Because if the Dodgers win, then yes, they can still play. There's still opportunities for Kershaw to get back on the mound. But if the Phillies take care of business tonight and then head back to Philadelphia and win, then I think it might be it would be the last time we would see Clayton Kershaw on the mound. And he just couldn't throw strikes, couldn't find it. It just wasn't Clayton Kershaw, and that sucks. And guys at the end of their career sometimes have just a complete drop-off, and those things happen. But
well, what's even funnier is this year for Kershaw, 11-2 with a 3.36 ERA. This was a bad year for Kershaw with a 3.36 ERA.
Which is amazing, by the way.
From 2011 to 2017, he will go down as probably, that might be one of the most dominant stretches in the history of baseball.
That is
3 seasons with an ERA under 2.
It's pretty legit, man. He's one of the best, and one of the few that, we see all this hype that happens in baseball or just in sports, right? Somebody that's hyped as the next great guy, next great player. And to come through, I think we're watching a couple of the guys in this series, and that is Clayton. But I think even more than that, we've had this conversation before of the few guys that have actually lived up to the unprecedented, unattainable hype. Tiger lived up to and surpassed. LeBron lived up to and surpassed. And I think Bryce Harper's in that category too.
Yeah.
That was a junior in high school hitting tanks, and people were going, this is the next greatest hitter that we'll see. Left-handed, 17-year-old. He's going to graduate early so he can enter the Major League Baseball draft without playing his senior year in high school. Like, that's how good he is. Sports Illustrated cover. And he's been one of the best players in baseball. How many can't-miss phenoms miss? A lot of them.
Oh, most of them.
And hearing Buster Olney tell stories about Bryce Harper, who he is off the field, away from the diamond, it's just like so easy to root for, right? And we're seeing a couple of guys that high school phenoms that turned it into Hall of Fame, high-level, best players at some points in their career, maybe in the game or considered one of the top, MVP, Cy Young, that lived up to it. And on one side is Bryce Harper, on the other side is Clayton Kershaw, And Bryce Harper's been awesome, and it's one of the reasons why I'm fine rooting for the Phillies. That and Kyle Schwarber, I love watching him play. Just hit tanks and hit one out of the stadium last night.
It's just beer league softball.
Dude, it's so great.
Does he not run how you picture Babe Ruth runs back in the day?
He plays how I picture if Babe Ruth played today.
Yeah.
Like it would be, Babe Ruth would be like, Schwarber. Just hitting tanks and just watching it and dropping the bat and sort of doing a slow trot.
I know. He runs like someone from the 1920s. It's very impressive. I'm surprised they don't let him just do the softball. When he hits a home run, doesn't even have to touch home plate, just hits it and goes back to the dugout. Just walks back. That's what I picture Schwarber doing.
Schwarber, take our one here.
Hey, take our one.
Use our one here, Schwarber.
Use it. You're good.
It's like, they give the 4 in baseball to Judge. They've done that a lot. Schneider has in this series. They give the 4. You don't have to throw a pitch. He just walks down to first, right? In this one, take our 1. We're going to take our 1. All right, you're going to hit a home run. Just go back.
Yeah.
We've got you. Put 1 on the board.
You're good.
We don't need to go chase the softball over the fence. Just put the 1 on the board. Let's move on. Or the 3, whatever it might be with guys on base.
You know my thoughts. I like the Phillies. Just living there for a few years. I was a Eagles guy for a little bit for my NFC team until the whole Chiefs Eagles rivalry, and now I can't stand the Eagles mostly because of Nick Sirianni, quite frankly. That's the main reason why.
Mm-hmm.
Doug Peterson was there when I was there, so that made it a little more palatable for me. But I do like the Phillies. They're a fun team. I like a lot of those guys, and Bryce Harper to me feels a little Travis Kelce-esque, where I think for other fan bases, where when he was young, maybe a little immature, or at least some of the antics on the field seemed immature. I feel like Bryce Harper when he first came up, and for maybe the first, 8 years of his career, I didn't like Bryce Harper. I thought this guy's a little childish. This guy seems a little grating. It seems a little look at me. And then it felt like there was a switch. And now I really enjoy watching Bryce Harper. And I think a lot of non-Chiefs fans maybe felt the same around Travis Kelce. When he came up, he was kind of cocky. He was a little bit of a showboat.
Yeah.
And then he settled in and became the leader. I think there are some leadership similarities between Bryce and Travis Kelce.
It's interesting. I like that.
I just think that, at least that's my perspective of it as well. And I looked up, by the way, Kershaw and Sandy Koufax. Those might be the 2 greatest 5-year stretches in any baseball history. 5-year stretches for a pitcher. So I'm just throwing that out there. I know there's gonna be a lot of older folks saying Sandy Koufax. Look up the entirety of those 5-year stretches because Sandy didn't really have much. Obviously, after none, and before wasn't anything. But look it up. You'll be mind blown by what Kershaw did.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, and we'll see what happens tonight. We'll see what takes place. But did you hear last night? Hey, Michael, can you play clip number 1 in case people didn't hear? If they're just tuning in, you had a night where you're like, you know what? I'm just not going to watch any sports whatsoever, and I'm just going to take the night off. And, football gets back underway on Thursday with an Eagles-Giants game, Chiefs-Lions, big weekend for local teams on Saturday. But if you didn't hear, here's just to remind people.
Dale, the Yankee lose. The Yankee lose.
What happened?
Let's go.
What happened?
Hey, let's do it
I don't know what happened.
The Yankees
What?
lose.
What?
The Yankees
Did they?
lose. Let's go, baby.
I love was David Ortiz getting in on it too.
Oh, look, he had to sit there and take it when the Red Sox lost to the Yankees in the wild card. And he gets to give it back. Now, it's not the Red Sox winning, but, it's as close as it's going to get.
To be said, Vlad, you were awesome. We'll see you in the next round. Go enjoy it, all right?
Llámame. Dale, te llamo de una vez. Gracias.
papi.
Gusto en verlo. Gracias.
He was saying thank you, have fun,
Yeah.
love you, Yankees lose. A lot. I took Spanish 1 twice.
Is there any son
Intro to
with,
Spanish
with
twice.
a different
Donde
body
está
type?
el baño is what he also said right after that.
Is there any body type of a son that looks so vastly different than the dad?
It's a great call.
Like Cecil Fielder and Prince Fielder, you're like, okay,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Definitely the spawn of that particular player.
Like Patrick Mahomes Sr. and then Patrick Mahomes.
right.
Like you're like, yeah, I could see it. They have similar body types. Patrick
Minute bowl.
Yeah, very similar.
That's right.
I'm like trying to think like even like Dante Bichette and Bo Bichette. You're
Yeah,
like,
right.
oh, I can
Okay,
totally,
yeah.
I could see.
Especially in the face.
Kevin Biggio, Craig Biggio.
Right, all
Yeah,
these.
sure, why not?
Yeah, anything you want to keep cold in the refrigerator, yeah.
And then all of a sudden you look at like Vladimir Guerrero and then Vladimir Guerrero Jr. You're like, what?
That was my criticism, if you want to call it that. Blue Jays have the money, so spend it however you want. Criticism for paying Vladdy the money that they did, because a first baseman can only grow into a DH at that point, or devolve defensively into a DH. Like Vladdy getting old will then go from first base to DH. A big corner outfielder getting old can go from outfield to first base.
Sure.
Or a catcher getting old can go from catcher. Like the big dumper can go, and he's under contract till 2030. But he can devolve from catcher to first base. Salvi's done it. Joe Mauer did it. We've seen a number of guys go down that route. The issue with paying a first baseman all that money is that if he becomes less athletic and even worse with the glove, he turns into a DH. But you pay him that money for this, what he did in these 4 games.
Yep.
I mean, I went back and looked. He had a series in this one that really his dad didn't really even have. You know, like his dad played
a postseason series. You mean
postseason? Yes.
Okay.
His dad,
I was say he had that.
No. His dad played in
345, 44 home run. Year.
His dad played in 5 or 6 different playoffs, including his second to last season when
with the Rangers.
With the Rangers when they went to the World Series. And he
hit 300 that year at age 35.
Well, that's what's so crazy about when you watch Vladdy Daddy, Vlad Guerrero Sr., that we look back at guys that play 16, 17 years, and it's like, what was the end of their career? What did that look like? His last year, after 16 years in baseball, he's still OPS 733.
He hit 290.
He got on base at almost 320. Like, Vlad, you don't walk off the island, and Vladdy took that to the extreme. Yet, his on-base percentage career was still like 380.
It was 380.
I was going to say
his
380,
career average was 318, 379, 533, OPS 931 for his career.
One of the greatest hitters that we've ever seen. And it's just like, we look at Tony Gonzalez's last year, and it's like, wow, Tony Gonzalez last year had like 700 yards receiving. Like, he was still at the, 5 or 6 touchdowns. Like, he walked away from the game still clearly being able to play. Whereas Antonio Gates was rarely used, sort of a red zone target, goal line, goal to go situation guy. And Vladdy right now on the Royals would be one of the best hitters in his last year. A 733 OPS. Good God, please.
He had no knees. His knees were beyond shot. That was the issue for him.
Right,
he couldn't move anymore.
Couldn't move anymore. You're not playing him in outfield. He still has a great arm, but he can't move to get the ball to then use that arm.
Favorite player of all time, by the way. So that's why
Vladdy?
Is Vladimir. Yeah,
that's awesome.
I went to Anaheim and watched a game. And
that's cool.
When I was a kid, and I've always my
that's
favorite
all it
player.
Took?
No, I liked it.
Favorite
I liked
non-Royals player, or even Royals included.
It might be Royals included. It was
I
was a kid, and we went. I liked him before then. I just always liked his game. I thought
you liked him when he was a garage band.
When he was in, I don't even think I was old enough to watch him in Montreal. I probably watched a year or two, but
I liked him before he went mainstream and pop. Like everybody else. I liked him before he sold out.
I watched him a little bit on the Expos, but I've been real young.
Yeah,
I love him on Anaheim, and then we went to a game. Super fun. Shout out to my parents for doing that. And it was a game they won 2-1. He hit 2 home runs, a walk-off home run, and threw a guy out at home plate. And I'm like, as a kid, you're like, this is your favorite player, and he does that in a single game.
Pretty awesome in the game that you went to.
In the game, you're like, this is the greatest moment of my life.
Yeah, Griffey was my non-Royals favorite player of all time. My dad and I took a trip to Cleveland, and then to Canton, and the day we went to Cleveland, we got some tickets. And it was the most scared I've ever been in a stadium because we had the very, very top last row in right field. Yeah. And behind us was a chain link fence and Cleveland.
The seats we were in. What's scarier, the Cleveland behind you or the?
Yes. The fact that the chain link fence is right there, and that's keeping me from falling to my obvious death. But in that game, Griffey hit a huge home run, and it was like, yes, I've watched a game where Griffey hit a home run. So that was pretty awesome in the one game I've gone to where, it was outside of Kansas City to watch Griffey. It just happened to be that the Mariners were in town that night, and I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. And we went, and he hit a home run that night. It was awesome.
Which is very funny because one of the few games, I saw Griffey.
Mm-hmm.
I was a kid. It was great. We went to a game in Cincinnati. We were staying in Indiana. We went there.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite.
Cincinnati Red Griffey.
It was Red Griffey.
Yeah.
When they had the smokestacks and all the home run counters and stuff. It was one of my favorite moments. We got to the game. It was sold out. We get there. My dad goes, "Are there any tickets?" They go, "Sorry, we're sold out." And he goes, "Are you sure there's not 2?" He goes, "Well, we have 2 right behind home plate."
So you're not sold out.
So you're not sold out.
I just looked at you, sir, and I figured you can't afford these.
I figured you can't afford this. My dad and I look at each other, and my dad goes, all right, this is the one time we're ever going to do it.
He goes, Julia Roberts, and takes all the money. And I've got all this money. Please take my money.
And so we ended up sitting there. The only time I've ever sat behind home plate. Not only does Griffey, he's a triple shy of the cycle.
Oh, wow.
He hit a home run, double, single, triple shy of the cycle. He hits a foul ball. Adam Dunn's on deck. For some reason, I loved Adam Dunn, too. I'm a tiny shortstop second baseman, and I'm like, no, I like the guy with the three true outcomes.
3 true outcome original.
And he hits a foul ball, and Adam Dunn handed me a Ken Griffey Jr. ball. So now I have the Ken Griffey Jr.
That's
ball
pretty awesome.
with his rookie card.
Did you get it signed?
I did not get it signed.
Oh, dude, just send it in the mail to Johnny Damon, and Johnny Damon will get it signed for you because he lives down the street from Ken Griffey Jr.
Seriously?
No, he won't. He'll keep it and never send it back. In 2020, we had a fun story. People still bring it up to me. In 2020, we did the Where Are They Now series, catching up with people because COVID and there were no sports being played. We still had to do a sports radio show. And so we would have every day, shout out to the producers, Shane and Corey were working their butts off, and we were just, every show we were done, we're like, all right, who can we reach out to? Who can we reach out to? Because we're doing sports. Yeah. There are no sports. Every day we got 4 hours with no sports. How are we? So we had a Where Are They Now series where every day we would bring somebody on that was a former KU, K-State, Mizzou, Sporting, Chiefs, Royals, whatever. And we had Johnny Damon on. And I brought up one of my favorite cards was the Johnny Damon card when he was in Double-A. And it was Johnny Damon and Ken Griffey Jr. on the same card.
Wow.
It's a badass card. I love it. And he was like, oh yeah, he's like Griffey. He's like Jr. lives right down the street from me. He's like, I can get that signed for you. I'm like, no way, dude. He's like, absolutely, man. Just your producer has my number. Just send it in the mail, and I'll get it signed and send it back, dude. I'm like, dude, that is so awesome. Thank you, man. That's really cool. So after it was over, contacted him. Right? He was like, yep, here's my address. I put the that card in there. And my 2 Griffey rookie cards that I had collected,
man.
Which was not smart, fine. Wrote a letter of Johnny Damon, like, man, this is really cool. You didn't have to do this, but this is awesome, man. Love catching up with you.
And can we also have a catch?
Did you have a good relationship with your dad too? I did. And I sent it, and he never sent it back. It was I had a return envelope with a stamp on it and everything. Shane was contacting. He kept saying, oh, yeah, well, I'm going to get to it. Oh, well, Griffey is out of town this week. Oh, well, he had surgery, so now he's not around just for like the next 6-7 months. Shane was texting with Johnny. He would reply.
And then what happened eventually?
Then he just stopped replying. Just totally stopped replying. So my nephew actually went and found that Johnny Damon Ken Griffey Jr. card and gave it to me for either birthday or Christmas,
that's sweet.
Which was awesome.
Yeah.
But I still need those Ken Griffey rookie cards.
Have you thought
Damon.
about were they just the tops? Was it 89?
It was the one. It was the Griffey Jr. card. That's the one that it's like this is the Griffey Jr.
Because
card.
there's the one I have is not worth. I don't think anything.
It was the nice one. It was the nice one that in the mid '90s I was a big card collector. And in trading cards, my brother had a friend that owned a card shop, so it was like big into it. So I was, I've got Mickey Mantle cards and the Cal Ripken Jr. card and everything. Like it was huge. Like I've got in storage, very well protected. Everybody like some nice cards. And so I went and got
a Century there. Got a Claymore laid down. He's like, they're very well protected.
Derek Thomas, the rookie Derek Thomas card. All of the ones that are the Barry Sanders, the rookie Barry Sanders card there. So I've got like some legit ones. And so I go and grab my Griffey Jr. card that I absolutely love. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Thank you so much.
Have you thought about texting him back now? Have Shane text him
I'll book him for the show tomorrow.
Can you please reach out to him? Let's see if we have
reach out, Johnny, and we'll go, hey, Johnny.
Hey, Johnny. Hey, JD. What up, Johnny?
You have something of ours.
Act like we're from Boston. Hey, Johnny, what the hell?
Yeah, so I was an idiot. I was the idiot, right? I mean,
you trusted him.
No, I was. Like Johnny Damon said they were the idiots. I was the idiot on that. But I did trust him. He was so nice on the air. And the first text messages, it was like, oh, yeah, no, I'm definitely going to do that. He's out of town right now. I'm going to get to it. I got the cards, So, like, I wonder if they're, like, sitting in, like a storage cabinet or something somewhere where everybody has like their junk collection area where you just throw some stuff from time to time. Those cards are sitting in that envelope.
I know what he did.
What'd he do?
He went over, he got him signed, and now he has a shrine of the King Griffey Jr. with your stuff.
I thought you were going to say a
Son of a
shrine of Jason.
He's got it's not a shrine. He's got like a kill list, and it's like Jason with like
Your eyes
he's
crossed out.
He's throwing darts at my face, with the cards around it.
What an
It's got like
idiot.
a voodoo section for just me.
That was the worst call.
Oh, man.
That was the worst interview I ever had, throwing darts at your dome.
God, I have been pretty unlucky since 2020. Like the luck has not been forever in my favor, Katniss.
Hey, you have me as your co-host now.
Like I said, like the luck is really missing from my life. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. It is not luck what's going on with Patrick Mahomes the last 2 weeks. I think there's a correlation, causation with that. I also want to talk about the playoffs. People discussing the Chiefs and how big this game is this weekend if they want to make the playoffs. So I want to put perspective into that as well. We'll talk with Matt Lane coming up at 11 o'clock. Chiefs press conference is 11:45. Sports or Leisure, 1 o'clock. More Zone next. Back in the day, when I was All right, 11 o'clock, we'll talk with Matt Lane, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. We'll hear from Dave Tobe, Steve Spagnuolo, Matt Nagy, Chris Jones on a Thursday. Do you think we'll get Chris Jones today? Like, I think we will. I don't think he's going to duck or hide from the meeting. I think that would be, honestly, pretty weak if he does that when he's there every Thursday for the last, couple of years?
Yeah.
I think
I bet he's
year's,
there.
I do, too. I think
he's an accountable guy, and he'll talk about it. And he'll be asked about it, almost guaranteed, or hopefully he leads with it. You know what? Hey, let me start off by saying I know how it looks.
I am curious about what he would have to say.
I will say this. That was a very fun first segment that I hope people enjoyed, because that was fun going down memory lane with, and hopefully people like the baseball and the behind the scenes, especially some baseball card talk. I enjoy that. It's something we don't do much, and it was a Wednesday and
nostalgic
no football.
For me. I mean, nostalgic for me, certainly. And if anybody runs into Johnny Damon out there, ask him about those cards. I guarantee he'll know what I don't know how many people he's offered that to, but, if you and if anybody wants to just throw an Upper Deck King Griffey Jr. Rating of 10 my way, just whatever you want, if you want to do that. You don't have to, okay? I am not asking for it. I'm just saying if you would be so inclined. Or just break into Johnny Damon's house and take it back. Because that's not – if I break into –
do that.
But here's the thing. Let me ask you this. If I break into Johnny Damon's house and take those cards back that are mine, is that – I mean, I guess it's breaking and entering.
It's breaking and entering. It's a little B&E action.
But it's not like – I wouldn't be stealing, right?
No,
I would be taking back what is mine. I didn't give him that.
You would still be breaking and entering.
Right, yeah, it's a B&E.
Actually, according to this, show, it's be breaking or entering, probably.
But if I presented my case to a jury of my peers of this is what happened, would they side with me? You know what?
Funny.
He was in the right to break and enter that guy's house. And, in fact, Johnny Damon, you're going to serve some prison time for not doing that.
Since it's sports or leisure instead of sports and leisure, it would be breaking or entering.
That's a good call. Yep, that's right.
That's how
you break or you enter. Yeah.
Would Johnny Damon see you and be like, oh,
no, he has no idea who I am. No idea who I am. But if I brought it up and said, hey, man, remember that interview you did in Kansas City in COVID and you had those, your card with Griffey on it that you said was also like your favorite card that you had as well, and then you offered to get autographed by your neighbor, Junior, who lived down the street. You remember that? Do you remember that? Hello, it's me.
All right, I'm intrigued by this though. You threw a little tease at us talking about Patrick before the break.
Right. Let's do it.
And I'm excited to talk and hear about.
I hope so. I hope you are. Patrick Mahomes in the last two games that he has played, he has a combined 69% completion percentage. It's pretty nice. He also has, he's averaged 294 yards per game in passing, and he has 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. In the last 2 weeks, this is just the last 2 weeks, back-to-back games combined. And he has 60 yards rushing, and he has a rushing touchdown. And so when I look at it, and I look at the last 2 weeks, and we talked about this on Tuesday and a little bit yesterday, that to me, what the last 2 weeks have in common is that it's just been pass protection that I don't remember seeing with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, where he just sat there and trusted. And we can even go to the second half of the Giants if we want to, but I'm just looking at the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That he's been in the pocket, trusting the pass protection. And by the way, the numbers bear it out too, because Kingsley the last 2 weeks has 86 pass block reps, and he's given up 1 pressure.
Wow.
The last 2 weeks.
He's been not just average the past 2 weeks. He's been great.
He's gone from like a 30 pass block grade at PFF to like back-to-back weeks of like an 80. Combined, I think like a 78 and like an 88 or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's been really good, and that backs it up. 86 pass block reps. He's given up 1 pressure. But when's the last time Patrick Mahomes put those numbers together where you average almost 300 yards for 2 games, almost 70% completion percentage, at least 5 touchdowns, only 1 interception. It was a rough one. And then also added a rushing touchdown. And you have to actually go back to the 2021 season. Week 1 and week 2 against Cleveland at home, when Baker Mayfield was being tackled by Dan Sorensen and threw the interception.
Yeah.
And Sorensen had that was bringing him down, and Baker threw the ball, and it was like, what are you doing, Baker? And then you look at it like, oh, he was throwing the ball away. And then that was the Mike Hughes postgame that said, well, you know what? Somebody had to make a play, and I stepped up and made a play. I'm like, oh, well, way to credit yourself. Don't break your arm patting yourself on the back there, Mike Hughes, by catching the ball that was thrown right to you. But whatever. No mention of Dan Sorensen making the tackle. But regardless, that game against Cleveland, and then the next week in the only loss to Baltimore with Lamar Jackson when Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumbled. That next week they lost 36-35. In those 2 weeks combined, he had 690 yards passing. So it's 337, 343, 680. He had 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, and also ran for a touchdown against the Cleveland Browns and completed 75 and then 77. Those 2 weeks were better than what he's done the last couple of weeks. But it goes back to when he's had games like this, back-to-back, where it's been that consistent. Completion percentage, yards per attempt, yards depth of target is part of it too. Like depth of target, you got to go back to when he had Tyreek Hill and when it was still Patrick Mahomes in the offense. It was still like they're coming off the Super Bowl loss, or they're coming off the Bucs loss.
Yeah.
And that next year, and it was like, okay, here comes a revenge tour for Patrick Mahomes. And, you know, that was the first year, the rookie year of Creed and Trey Smith. They had Orlando Brown at left tackle. Lucas Niang was starting at right tackle. But you had Joe Thuney as well.
Yeah.
So that was fresh. Hey, you got yourself a left tackle now, maybe for the next 3 years, and if you sign him long term. Orlando Brown, Joe Thuney, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith. And then Niang started at right tackle, and eventually it went to Wiley with the injury and all that stuff.
And Wiley was good.
But he had pretty good pass protection. I mean, we've talked about since Orlando Brown, like, man, especially last year. God, what would you give for the issues, quote-unquote, issues you had with Orlando Brown at the time? It's like, well, you got to help on the outside because he'll get beat with the athletic guys on the outside, but he won't get beat with the power, and he won't get beat inside. And the second he gets his hands on you, you can't move him around. There were some good things that he did. There were some complaints that people had, too.
I always thought he was underrated in Chiefs Kingdom, but I also think that the contract was a little...
Right, all of it.
It was multifaceted. It was multifaceted.
I'm glad that now they have Josh Simmons, that Orlando Brown did not agree to that contract. So, because if he's still with the Chiefs, are they drafting Josh Simmons this year?
Yeah.
Or are they extending, Orlando Brown? I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Maybe they would have drafted Josh Simmons the same, and maybe Orlando Brown would have helped them, win a Super Bowl last year.
Transition. Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows? But that offensive line was not a question mark throughout the season. Like it felt like, wow, look what they have. They went from him scrambling for his life against the Bucs to 5 new starters. You sign Joe Thuney, you draft Creed, you trade for Orlando, you draft Trey. You got Lucas Niang, who you had in the 3rd round before he, ruptured his patellar tendon against Cincinnati later in the season when Orlando Brown hurt his calf in pregame warmup.
Yeah.
That's when then Wiley had to step in at right tackle. You have 5 new starters on the offensive line, and Mahomes has all day to throw. Like, wow, this is nice to see. What do they have in Creed and Trey and Thuney? Guard to guard? This is what guard to guard. I mean, Mahomes, it had been right tackle, left tackle, Mitchell Schwartz and Eric Fisher. But guard to guard had been kind of a question from time to time. Now you got Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey, Joe Thuney, Orlando Brown has stepped up and played well. And with Eric Fisher's, torn Achilles, like you weren't going to have Fisher back that year anyway. But that's the last time that he's done this. And I think it's correlation, causation, Sterling, of that offensive line protecting and him trusting and him sitting back and finding guys to throw to, because shout out Jesse Newell for this piece of information at The Athletic. Air yards per attempt, and this is where I go back to week 1 and 2 of back in 2021 when you had Tyreek Hill. Air yards per attempt last year, he had 6.3 air yards per attempt. Out of 36 qualified quarterbacks, that ranked 33rd. This year, he's at 8.5, which is 3rd in the NFL. 2.2 air yards per attempt higher this year than last year. Which, by the way, when you've got time to throw, when you don't have to immediately look for the dump off, when you have a deep threat to extend the defense, which can allow even the intermediate throws to be 6, 7, 8 yards down the field, when you're not just throwing screen passes and quick slants and dump offs to Travis Kelce, like, look what Mahomes looks like, and throwing in the running aspect of it, like, he's back to being Patrick Mahomes, and there's a reason he's the second betting favorite to win MVP behind only Josh Allen right now.
So I find it funny because, one, they're 2-3. It's hilarious that they're 2-3 after last year. He went 15-1 as the starter. He went 15-1 as the starter in the regular season. But I was talking to one of my. He's a Falcons guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's, I think, a Chiefs hater. He says he's Chiefs agnostic, but I'm like, you're a Chiefs hater.
Nobody's Chiefs agnostic right now.
And he had a kind of a funny. He goes, the reason why I was so annoyed with the Chiefs last year and why I was, almost a Chiefs hater last year is because they were so boring. He goes, they were boring, and they're constantly on the television. They're being talked about nonstop. They keep winning games, and it's boring. They're winning 20-17. The variance kept going their way, and they were boring. This year, variance has swung so far the other way. Everything has gone against them, but they're fun. He goes, now I'm enjoying watching the Chiefs.
Because they're losing.
But he's like,
but they're losing fun.
They're fun to watch. He goes, it reminds me of older Patrick Mahomes. And I go, it was nice to hear from a completely outside perspective, doesn't really care, but saying he didn't care if they win or lose. He's just saying they're at least fun to watch now. He goes, I want them on my television. Last year, they were always talked about, always on the TV, and they kept winning, but they were so boring that it made me want to root against them because they can't keep getting away with it. And then this year, he goes, they're fun. And I go, well, it's not as fun as a Chiefs fan as they're 2-3, but it gets your point of even they understand, the Chiefs haters understand that, okay, this is different. Patrick in the offense looks back, and it's not just a blip. It's legitimate. This Chiefs offense is back, and I'm glad you brought the numbers up to back it up.
And also where the Chiefs are right now at 2-3, what season have the Chiefs gone through that at some point you didn't go, they can't do it, they're not going to do it, or not you in general out there, but somebody or some theme developed with Chiefs Twitter of this team isn't going to do it. 2019, Mahomes' knee. 2020, they're not winning by enough. They're barely winning these games. The offense remember, that was when Patrick Mahomes said, apparently not winning by a large enough score, so I guess that's a stat. When they, went 14-2 that year. 14-1 when they were trying to win, and they lost the Super Bowl. 2021, they end up 12-5, but that was also, a season where they started off 2-3, and they lost to the Bengals in the AFC Championship game. But at 2-3, this team is, they got figured out by the Bucs. The Bucs did to the Chiefs, and now nobody's afraid of the Chiefs anymore. And that was 2021. And then in 2022, they didn't have Tyreek Hill. And yeah, the offense is pretty good, but they're 2-1 right now. You just lost to the freaking Indianapolis Colts on the road. Way to go, Chris Jones. Whatever you said to Matt Ryan cost this team a win. 2-1. They're not good enough to overcome some of these things because they don't have Tyreek Hill. And in 2023, it was everybody's dropping the ball. They went 2-4 in a stretch of 6 games that season, including that Bills loss when they had Kadarius Toney, and the Eagles loss with MVS dropping the ball, and then they lost to the Raiders on Christmas. This team sucks. They're toast. They need a rehaul in the offseason.
Yeah, that's because they ended up going 10-6. I remember that conversation. It got real bad in 23.
Yep.
That was a wild conversation surrounding this team.
And last year at this time, they can't keep getting away with this. This offense is boring. It's broken. They're not going to beat the Ravens or the Bills without scoring points. They will not win in the postseason if they don't start figuring things out offensively. They messed up in thinking that Kingsley was their left tackle, and that's going to be the death knell. That's going to be the final blow to this Chiefs team as to why they can't win the AFC. And then they were in the Super Bowl. Every year we've had some sort of conversation at some point in the year about Chiefs aren't going to do it this year.
That is the NFL.
Yeah, right. But that's not just other people. I'm talking about like within the
locally,
fan base.
Yeah.
And this year, here it is again. Are they even going to make the playoffs? Yes. Yes. The answer is yes, especially in the AFC when right now 3-2 is the seventh wild card, is the seventh team. The third wild card team is 3-2, and it's the frickin' Patriots.
I do think your point is valid. I'm glad you brought this up.
Thanks.
They had a 2-4 stretch in 23. They won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If they start off 2-4,
That's a great point. Lose to the Lions, win the Super Bowl. That's what Sterling's saying. That's what I heard. Michael, that's what you heard too?
They also lost to the Lions in that first week back in 23.
I mean, right?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Lose to the Lions in the first 4 weeks of the season and have a 2-4 stretch at some point in the year, and you win first 6 weeks, sorry. And you win. This is not week 4. It's not week 5, but it is week 6. And you win the Super Bowl.
Find the pattern.
I found it. Break now. Go. All right, a Thursday edition of The Zone right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Let's bring in Matt Lane, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. Matt, what's up, brother? How are you?
Oh, we're making it. We're making it. Not the best of weeks for Chiefs fans, but hey, we are working past this Monday night debacle, and we are moving on to a Sunday night big matchup with the Lions.
Tale of two halves. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times on Monday night. So I'm just. This is a two-part question that you can take any way you want. So, from your perspective, what happened on Monday night, and do you come away from that game with any sort of concerns or worries that maybe you didn't have going into that game on Monday night?
For the game, I don't know what happened. The more I rewatch, it's really hard to come away, just even watching the game without watching the score or knowing how it ended. It's really hard to come away with it and see how the Chiefs didn't win that game, because they were the better team. I thought they played better, and yeah, they made mistakes, but so did the Jaguars. And that's the biggest thing, is the Chiefs don't usually lose to teams if the other team doesn't essentially play perfect football, and the Jags did not come close to that. So it was really befuddling to see the Chiefs fall short when their opponent essentially played to their same level as the Chiefs in terms of making the mistakes. So that's really surprising to me. I have struggled to wrap my head around why it happened, and I think a little bit of an anomaly is the Chiefs sort of outscored, 14-0 essentially in the middle 8 minutes of the game. So right before halftime, coming out of halftime, they lost their 14-point lead over that stretch and it became a tied game. So I think that's the biggest part that really sticks to me, and that's abnormal for the Chiefs, so maybe it's not a long-term concern. And then concerns coming out of the game, just defensively, I think this is the second time I think the Chiefs have played a quarterback who can operate like a really good quick passing game, but also has the talent to push the ball downfield, right? That's not what Russell Wilson does. Jalen Hurts has been a good quarterback, but he doesn't necessarily have a really quick release and absolutely tears teams up with a quick passing game. So I think seeing how Justin Herbert and then Trevor Lawrence have been able to operate a quick passing game while then also being able to make plays out of structure so they can push the ball downfield. I do wonder if this defense right now is showing some signs of that type of quarterback is going to be a little difficult for them to defend most of the season.
Yeah, it's interesting. You mentioned that middle 8 minutes, and I think that is so crucial because I've mentioned this a couple times, so people that have listened probably tired of me saying it, but when the Chiefs jogged out there for that possession with a little more than 2 minutes to go, up 14-7, Matt, I've seen this story so many times. I wrote in my notes immediately, here comes a 3-and-out. And just for whatever reason, we haven't seen that. And then they go to halftime, and the first possession, I put in my notes before that, and I go, something tells me here's a 3-and-out. I don't know why, but it just had that feel. And watching every snap and every game of Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and us talking about put the foot on the throat, even though they did that last week against the Ravens. I mean, do you remember back, and I am not saying the Chiefs should start to receive the kickoff, but do you remember back and the Chiefs ever actually take advantage of that double dip opportunity when it's in front of them?
Well, so this is the tricky part. Is this is the first time all year that they didn't score any points in either of those two drives. So either their final drive of the first half and the second, the first drive of the second half. This is the first time all year that they didn't score any points. And I think that multiple other games this year, they have scored on both of those drives, whether it's been a field goal and a touchdown or 2 field goals. So they've been pretty good in that stretch, and I haven't checked back into other seasons to see how it's done. So this was a little bit of an anomaly for them.
Good.
But, yeah, we'll see. I wonder about getting the ball back coming out of it. Sorry about that. I wonder about getting the ball first and trying to put their foot down. I understand why they want the ball at halftime. They have one of the best quarterbacks in terms of controlling the game, so they give themselves these opportunities to bleed out the clock at the end of the first half and get points and then get the ball coming out of it. So I think it was just an unfortunate series of events that led to this to happen, but it is pretty abnormal for them, I do think, long term. So I doubt they change what they do based on the one game, but if it's something that becomes a reoccurring theme, then I think they should go back to that drawing board.
Yeah, so punt field goal in week 1 against the Chargers. Then you had touchdown and then turnover on downs against the Eagles. And then the Giants field goal touchdown. So there you go. That was back-to-back. My bad. When I don't ever remember it besides 2 weeks ago, apparently. Such anecdotal things in my mind. And then against the Baltimore Ravens, missed field goal, then touchdown. So, yeah, like I said, they typically take advantage of those things. Man,
this one was really infuriating because I think if you go back and watch it, too, you can see the offense played great, and I don't know how much we want to dive into that, but I thought the offense overall looked really good. But I think you can see the one missing element is they don't have that free offense available. Like other teams have one player that they can just fling the ball out to on a quick slant or out route and then see them go make a play and turn a 2-yard pass or a 0-yard pass into a 5, 6, 7, 8-yard gain. It's just free offense. Or they have a run game that they can lead that drive off. The Chiefs don't have that. With Travis Kelce being out of his prime, you can't really rely on him there. That's not Worthy's game right now, especially while hurt. So they will get Rashee Rice back.
I was going to say, one more game.
Which is helpful. And I think that's a big thing. That's the one thing they were missing offensively, and I think it showed up big time on those 2 drives in particular. They didn't have their go-to third down weapon, so you get a contested catch to Hollywood Brown. And then on that second, and I think it was 16, after the great play by Joshua Hines-Allen to get Worthy on the end around, they didn't have someone that could just pick up a free 8 yards to make it third and manageable. So I do think there is help coming for the one flaw I think we saw offensively.
Yeah, so Matt Lane is our guest. I've asked this question the last couple of days, and I'll continue to ask it to the different guests we have on. Patrick Mahomes played the last 2 weeks and this offense this year, and Jesse Newell's talked about the percentage of drives for the Chiefs that end in points, and it's over 50% this year, and the last few years it's been, in the 40s or, low 40s. Is it correlation causation to you of what we've seen from the offensive line, and maybe even, these last 2 weeks certainly, but that second half against the Giants, that I don't know when it was, Matt, that I remember Patrick Mahomes having so much trust in the offensive line and sitting there and navigating from within the pocket and letting routes and plays develop while not looking at the defensive line and looking to immediately run or find an opening. Is there correlation causation that this offense now is humming to a degree we haven't seen, and it's like, is the offense back? And it's Patrick Mahomes with full trust of the offensive line, and it's earned trust because the offensive line is holding up there into the bargain the last 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, for sure. I think he looks way more comfortable, and whether that is just the offensive line play or the offensive line play in combination with the receivers, it's probably a little bit of everything. But just watching him on his dropbacks, watching him take that extra 2 steps into the backfield, like if we think back to the early Mahomes days, how often were we, yelling at him when things weren't going great for drifting in the pocket, but then normally good things happened. That's kind of disappeared the last few years as I think the trust in the offensive line and then the trust in the receivers went away. And part of us wanted to chalk that up to, he's playing smarter, and it is smarter. Like, that's not wrong, but it's also not his comfort zone. Whereas now I think you're starting to see him get back into his comfort zone, what he wants to do, where he just naturally tends to play, and that's okay as long as you make it work. And like the last couple of weeks, they're really making that work. And so you see the trust in the offensive line to give him enough space around the pocket to take that extra little bit of drop. He does have a little bit of faith in his receivers, not named Travis Kelce, to eventually get open on whether it's broken plays or later down in the passing concepts. Or, heck, we saw Hollywood Brown make a contested catch while getting lit up over the middle of the field in like the intermediate area. I don't think that's a throw that he makes in non-desperate situations to the receiving options, not named Rashee Rice or Travis Kelce, over the past few seasons. So there is a certain level of either comfort or just a decision to say, okay, I'm going to go back and play how I've played in the past. And whatever the combination is working because he's been playing phenomenal outside of, the obvious pick six.
So a couple things here that I want to bring up because it happened in back-to-back plays. And so we discussed, like, do they have somebody that you can just go and pick up an easy 6, 7, 8 yards? And maybe right now, no, but there's one more game that they have to get through before they get somebody back like that. So a little bit of a pushback on that, but also to your point about, Mahomes in sort of gaining depth, back-to-back plays. So after Hollywood Brown picked up the personal foul for being the second guy, and that's what happens, he gets head-butted, he slaps the guy. And by the way, it is sort of annoying, total aside, that the ref was right there watching it and saw the headbutt and then saw Hollywood Brown and said, nope, that's a flag on Hollywood Brown. Like, I know offsetting penalties is kind of weak, but that sort of felt like that. But anyway, the Chiefs are in 2nd and 24. I don't know the last time that it would be like, you know what, I'm kind of confident the Chiefs are going to come through here in 2nd and 24. 3rd and Mahomes, we used to call it. And on 2nd and 24, they threw the quick little pass to Brashard Smith for 15 yards. And that was one of those to where, like, do they have a guy that you can just throw the ball and let him, pick up yards? He got that 17-yard reception against the Ravens that I think Hunt or Pacheco, it's like a 3 or 4 yard gain. But to the point about gaining depth, the very next play was 3rd and 9. That was that Thornton 35-yard catch that he had to come back for the ball because the Jags blitz, an unscouted look, they got through, and Mahomes didn't tuck it and run. He took a couple more steps back, knowing he had time, and then threw it while he was being hit, and Thornton came through there. Those back-to-back plays, I think, sort of can be indicative of what the offense can look like even when they're put behind the chains because, Matt, for so long it was, it's 2nd and 20? Sure. I mean, the Chiefs will find a way to figure it out. It's 3rd and Mahomes. They'll do it.
For sure, and that play was a big one because it was against a blitz. Essentially, it was I don't think it was cover 0. I think they had the linebacker was green dogging, so he only came once the running back stayed in for pass protection. But there was a blitz, and they were going to have an unblocked player at some point in time. And he squeezes through. Kareem Hunt probably takes the wrong guy. And anyway, they get the pass off, but he drifts back a little bit deeper in the pocket to make that throw. He buys himself time by getting deeper, and you see it on that play. I think you see it coming out of their play action passes. They were really good from under center this week against the Jaguars. They averaged 14 yards per play or something from under center. So both the run game and pass game was working. But even coming out of some of those, I think we're seeing it. He's coming out of these play action looks and then dropping really deep. Whereas in the past, last year, when we think about it, I'm thinking back to the clip on Twitter about going through, here's all of Patrick Mahomes' deep passes and how many of them off play action were still him having to immediately turn around after play action, or everything was in shotgun because he needed to stay closer to the line of scrimmage in the pocket, and then it gets muddy, and that impacts the throwing mechanics more. Whereas now, I think we're getting those really deep drops, and then once he's back there, he's like, I still have the arm talent to deliver this ball. I also know that my offensive tackles can block deep enough that I'm not going to get completely hit as soon as I come out of this play fake. So there is a confidence there in the pocket integrity being a little bit deeper. And then I do think there really is a connection between him and Tyquan Thornton on, it's downfield, let's just give this a chance. Even if I don't throw the ball perfectly, he's going to get there and kind of make a play. And I do think that's been really good for Mahomes to have a player that he feels like he can be off target a little bit, and he still gives him a chance to complete it.
Yeah, bleep it, Tyquan Reek down there somewhere. That's it. Got a little bit of that, a little bit of that back for Patrick Mahomes. Matt Lane is our guest. Patrick Mahomes this year, should point out, last year, average depth of target 6.3 yards last year. Average depth of target 33 out of 36 qualified quarterbacks. Jesse Newell put this one out at his piece at The Athletic. Underlying numbers that give you hope as to what we're seeing, even though they're 2 and 3. That was last year. This year he's at 8.5 average depth of target, which is 3rd in the NFL. I'm just going to ask you, what's the combination? Maybe it's what we've already been talking about here, but what's the combination of this offense as to why he's up 2.2 yards in average depth of the target this year?
Yeah, I think we've touched on it already a little bit, but it's the offensive line is holding up better, so they're giving him not only more time, but like we were saying, they can take these deeper dropbacks, which does allow for the timing on deeper plays to get where they need to be. And while the interior offensive line maybe is a small step back right now than it was last year, if you're putting more space between you and them, it doesn't matter if there's defensive tackles' hands or offensive guards' feet near you because you now created more space. So the offensive line, step one. step two is it's that trust in Tyquan Thornton. And I don't know if Xavier Worthy is never going to develop into a better deep threat than Thornton is right now. There's still very much a chance that Worthy, just had the rookie issues, and he'll get better at being a deep threat in the future and be one of the best in the league. But I think it's without saying that Thornton, as of right now, is playing better as a vertical wide receiver than Worthy did last year. So you're giving him a better target to trust, and that's going to open things up. So now you're seeing these, whether they're just go routes, these that we hit the deep over, or kind of on the post route in this one, and one of the long plays to Tyquan Thornton, just you're getting involved in these vertical passes that they weren't connecting on with Worthy last year. And you hit one or two of those, that confidence builds. Now you're going to take a few more of those shots. And then I do think the final one, and hat tip to Andy Reid. A lot of people, myself included, have been a little critical of the offensive scheme structure to start this year and how it still looked a lot like last season, where a little outdated. Well, now that Worthy's come back and they have a guy that they do see as one of their more important wide receivers, you have seen them attack the middle of the field a little bit more. You have seen them not run so much old school West Coast principles and actually try to push the ball. So I think everything's coming together for this to be a really good offensive year for the Chiefs. And I think it's a good time because I think the defense might need that little bit of extra leeway as the year keeps going.
Yeah, Matt Lane is our guest, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. Does Patrick Mahomes lead the team in rushing this year after 17 games? And how many touchdown runs for Patrick this year does he end up with?
Ooh,
I
don't think he'll lead the team in rushing. I think they are either going to keep riding the Isaiah Pacheco bandwagon until it works, and even if it doesn't work, it's just going to have enough volume that he is eventually going to catch him. However, touchdowns, I definitely could see him going into that 6-7 range, which is pretty. I know he's at 3 already, so it doesn't sound like a ton, but that's
his career high is 4.
That's pretty abnormal.
His career high in a season is 4, so he's at 3 already through 5 games. So one more.
And you credit Kareem Hunt. He's been good as a goal line back.
Yes.
When they get inside the 5 and give Kareem Hunt a opportunity, he's pretty good there because it's within the 3 yards that he can run, right? And he's been good in those remarks. So I don't think you're going to get a ton of under 5-yard touchdown runs from Mahomes, but I do think you're going to continue to get some of those scramble touchdown runs. I mean, the read option was a fun little twist on it this past one too, recently. So I think that they got he'll get the touchdowns. He'll still scramble, but I think they're either going to force Isaiah Pacheco to work, or I do think you do see some form of move at running back from this team. There's just too many rumors about it. The Chiefs might be interested in all these different players, and whether it's a high profile name that everybody wants, or just a guy that might be better than Pacheco, we'll have to see. But I do think that it's either Pacheco's going to continue to get volume or they make a move. I don't think they'll just kind of completely abandon it altogether.
Matt Lane is our guest, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. You mentioned that the offense being better is going to be needed because of some of the things with the defense. What's your concern with the defense after it seemed like 3 particularly good weeks? This one couldn't come up with a stop there on either of those last 2 drives, giving up a field goal and then a touchdown. What is the concern level for what we're seeing from this defense?
Yeah, it's really hard to put your finger on. So stats are weird, right? Because the Chiefs are among the NFL's leaders in pressures and pressure rate when only rushing 4, and even pressure rate when blitzing. And you see all this stuff that makes it seem like the Chiefs pass rush is being effective, but I don't know if we're just getting too lenient with what the word pressure is anymore, or if we're just completely excluding the time to pressure. I don't know what it is, but this Chiefs pass rush just doesn't accomplish a lot, especially when they're rushing 4. It never feels like it feels like it very rarely negatively impacts the opposing offense. Maybe there is pressure there, but when it comes at the caveat of leaving a wide open scramble lane, doesn't really matter. Or when it comes to the caveat of it's 5 seconds into the play, doesn't really matter. So the lack of pass rush is just really starting to grind, I think, down on the rest of this team. And even Spags blitzes this year, while it's still been good, and in some games like the Eagles game plan where they blitzed a ton, if you go back and look, though, the pressures off those blitzes, especially sacks, weren't that high. They haven't been as effective in terms of getting the quarterback down when blitzing. So the lack of pass rush is just making it really hard on a secondary who I think is played above what we could have expected post-week 1. But we're starting to see, the cracks coming as that pass rush just can't get home at any point in time.
And now they'll be healthy. Christian Fulton back at practice as well. He missed last week. How do they deal with Matt Lane's our guest? How do they deal with and I connect this with people complaining about Noel Williams only playing 4 snaps last week and Shamari Connor being in the slot. I have my theory as to why that was, and I think it'll be the same thing on Sunday night. But how do they deal with Amon-Ra St. Brown? 61% of his targets, not 61% of his catches, 61% of his targets are for first downs. How do they deal with that guy?
Yeah, I think you see a lot of bracket coverage, which is going to put a lot of pressure on whoever's outside matched up with Jameson Williams and obviously the other guys because the line spread it around. But I don't think the solution is going to be let's just put Trent McDuffie in the slot to handle Amon-Ra St. Brown. I do think that the Chiefs, when they go up against a number one wide receiver and they can't, and they're not in a situation to let one of, a L'Jarius Sneed in the past or a Trent McDuffie really shadow them, they are just going to bracket him with safety help constantly. They're going to try to beat him up at the line of scrimmage, constantly have other help around there, and force them to win by throwing to somebody else. And I think that's a fine game plan. We saw them do it against the league neighbors, and it's worked. We have seen them do it to various different receivers throughout Spag's tenure here. And so I anticipate that's how they will go about this, because they do seem to have some reservations, or maybe not the team, maybe the player has some reservations about Trent McDuffie just becoming a kind of full-time slot corner again.
Yeah. Visiting with Matt Lane, last one for you before prediction. The offensive line has been pretty good in pass protection, and Josh Simmons has, been a revelation as a rookie, but this is a true test with Aiden Hutchinson. And the one thing that separates him from a number of different guys, certainly specifically like a Max Crosby that they'll see twice, is the last 2 weeks, Aiden Hutchinson, 61 rushing reps on the left edge, 58 on the right. So he's almost exactly 50-50 rushing from the right side and the left side. Max Crosby is exclusively from the left side. Khalil Mack, different guys that we see. Hines Allen is, mainly on the right side. Aiden Hutchinson is an equal opportunity right and left rusher. When you've got somebody like a Max Crosby that's on one side, typically you can sort of coach with that. We'll shade this way. We've got this game plan for him. But the Chiefs won't know where Aiden Hutchinson is until they get to the line of scrimmage. So what do you think they do with a guy who's got a 26% pass rush win rate and will rush from either side of the defensive line?
In the past, against really good edge rushers, Andy Reid has typically come out with some really good game plans. They constantly get the jet motion going out. They send a lot of different chips from different places. They'll do that awkward, almost like a wing alignment of a running back, so they're even a little farther back to offer chip help. They have done different stuff to really impact. I think back to some games against the 49ers and Nick Bosa, or even going back to the Broncos early on and Von Miller. They do a lot when they do have a specific edge rush that they really need to slow down and they think they can block the rest of the defensive line. So I am curious to see all the eye candy and all the extra motion and stuff that they run by Hutchinson, just trying to slow him down. Now, that being said, over those guys I kind of said, Hutchinson's a little bit more of a power-first player. He will run through the chest of a blocker as frequently as possible, and that makes it a little bit more difficult to just add in all the chip help. It makes it a little bit more difficult when he is willing to just spike through the chest of a blocker up to always get him with the jet motion. So we will have to see what the plan is. He's a good test. I mean, the most difficult time Josh Simmons has had this year was with Brian Burns, who's a different type of player, but I would say that has been the best, pure edge rusher that he has seen most of the season, and that was his, the time that he had the most difficulty. So we will see how it goes against Hutchinson, who I also think is a bad matchup for Jawan Taylor, given the power style that Hutchinson has. So they better have a plan ready for how to deal with him, because he's a tough cookie to crack.
Yep. And the name and the game that comes to mind is what Andy Reid did against Nick Bosa in San Francisco a couple of years ago when he was just in a spin cycle. And that's a guy that lines up on both sides too. So Bosa goes from the right to the left and things like that. Last one for you. What do you think happens in the game on Sunday night?
Man, so the one thing going for the Chiefs that really is helpful is the Lions secondary is pretty beat up right now, and they are a very man-heavy team. I think they run the second most man coverage in the NFL. So if they continue to do that while down a bunch of guys, that should bode well for the Chiefs. Unfortunately, the Chiefs' offense is pretty rough versus man coverage. They're much better against zone. So it'll kind of see two units who are a little handicapped when the Lions play man coverage to see which one comes out on top. I do trust, I think, Andy Reid to scheme up some stuff with that in mind. So we will see how it comes out. I think we get a lot of points. I think this game, you know, not the last time, but we have seen the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes play Jared Goff in a shootout before down in, when he was back with the Rams. I don't know if it gets quite that high, but I think this one's a lot of fireworks, a lot of back and forth. I think both defenses struggle to make consistent stops. Chiefs eat this one out. Let's call it 34-31.
Ooh, that's a fun one. I will take it. Obviously, I'll take a 2-0 win if that's the case, but 34-31 should be a fun one. Matt Lane, you're the man as always, brother. KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. Enjoy the football. We will talk in a couple of weeks, man.
Thank you so much. Go Chiefs.
Absolutely. Matt Lane, great stuff from him, man. Always enjoy our conversations and his breakdowns and all of the different things concerning the Chiefs. And, yes, they have some concerns this week with a couple of guys that are really good, one on the offense, one on the defense, but a great point on the man-heavy coverage scheme for the Lions down their top 3 cornerbacks. That could be obviously big news for the Chiefs, but they have to deal with a man like Aiden Hutchinson. And Andy Reid had a pretty good game plan for Nick Bosa a couple of years ago with a guy that lines up on both sides and is tough to deal with, and they were able to deal with him. We'll see. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. More Zone coming up next. Hey, man, if you're out there and of a certain age, that may be in your 40s, 50s, even maybe in your 30s, and you have some questions about what your testosterone level may be, well, then why keep asking the question? Go get answers. Schedule a consult with Heartland Men's Health today. They will do your lab work with you, have your results within 30 minutes. Maybe you're just curious about what the testosterone level is. Maybe you're curious about what it is because you might have some symptoms that are related to, connected to low testosterone, putting on weight, less production in the gym, not sleeping as well, brain fog, the energy levels are gone, decrease in libido. All of those things can be connected to low testosterone. So go get it checked out, heartlandmenshealth.com, results within 30 minutes, and then a licensed medical provider will review the results with you and discuss your options, help you make the decision together with the medical team. Cost of the appointment only $99, includes medical consult, T, and that PSA test. And if you sign up for testosterone treatment the day of your appointment, that visit's free. You could be back to having some of those things you remember in your 20s and your 30s. Heartland Men's Health, successfully treating men in the Kansas City area. 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Independence between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and North Kansas City. Call them today at 844-447-6600. Tell them you heard about it right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com. We'll head out to Arrowhead Stadium here in the next segment. Thank you to Matt Lane, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. We're going to hear from Dave Tobe. He got some explaining to do. Steve Spagnuolo. Last couple drives, what happened there, Steve? Matt Nagy. Hey, well done. Nice job, Matt. Chris Jones, I got some explaining to do. So should be an interesting one there. So Chris Jones will be at the podium today along with the coordinators. Rough special teams day, rough defensive outing at times, and a rough final play for the defense out there for Chris Jones. And you know what? I guarantee he'll be asked about Noel Williams. Noel Williams, Shamari Connor. My theory is wanting the bigger slot cornerback against a heavy run team, which means I think we'll see the same thing. The problem is the slot receiver for the Jags versus the slot receiver for the Lions. Again, this stat is just stupid. As we take a break, just find perspective for this thing. 61% of Amon-Ra St. Brown's targets, not catches, 61% of his targets result in a first down. 61% of his targets result in a first down, not just receptions. Just something to think about if you want a bigger slot in Shamari Connor with one of the best slot receivers that is just a production monster moving the chains against a team that likes to go for it on fourth down. So you got a possibility of the defense being out there a long time. My concern, I will say this is, and maybe this comes up with Steve Spagnuolo today, third and long, third and obvious passing situations, that's where I think the Chiefs, I mean, it's obvious, but the Chiefs have to be really good, because if it's 3rd and 9 and they pick up 8 yards, typically be like, okay, but that's what the Lions do. The Lions from 3rd and 4th down, if you are in a passing defense, they will go fast and they'll run it. So if the Chiefs are smaller on 3rd and obvious passing situations with 3 wide receivers out there, and it's 3rd and 10 and they pick up 9 yards, they won't let you sub. They're going to immediately go up to the line of scrimmage and hand it off because you've got your smaller defense in there, and they're going to pick up the first down. So we talk about the Eagles, right, on, 4th and 1, like it's really 1st and 9 that they start with. The Lions aren't a team that 1st and 9 like the Eagles are, but they are a team that if they pick up almost the first down on 3rd down on a pass, they will go up there quick and run it on you because you've got your smaller team in there. It's just a smart strategy, but you can't go into this game going, it's 3rd and 10, we'll just keep everything underneath, and then we'll tackle before the first down marker. That's where they get you sometimes. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll hear from the Chiefs coming up next.
disappointed in the way the last week worked out. From a defensive standpoint, we get in that position and we hope to end the game and win it. So very disappointed. But we've moved on. This next team we're getting ready to play, every bit as good as the one we played, maybe better. So all our focus is on that. With that, I'll open it up.
On the last play, even aside from just Chris, once the play gets kind of blown up like that, I mean, does it?
It's a weird deal. It's a weird deal. Listen, we always talk about never assume. Like I'm talking about on a 1st and 10 play. You know, backside corner, don't assume he's down. You know, don't assume your buddy's going to get him tackled. And I think guys just got caught up in the moment, thought he was down. It didn't work out that way. I think we'll all learn from it, and we've moved on, and hopefully that doesn't happen again.
Does it make it harder because Chris has been around for a long time?
Yeah.
He's your highest paid guy. Is that more difficult?
Well, I mean, listen, when somehow, some way we needed to get him down. I mean, there's a lot. I'm not going to pick at all the things that happened, but there were other things that went on that, you know, that play, you know, it would have given us another chance to defend another play. I mean, we're assuming that Chris would have been able to get there. We don't know that. But there was a lot of things on that play that could have gone a little bit better. I think all the guys would tell you that. And we needed to find a way. We had it, really, when you look at it, we got a little bit fortunate and lucky that he got stepped on. You know, I mean, it was a pass play that we needed to defend. We were expecting pass. That didn't materialize because he stumbled, and what happened. I tell you what I'm going to say is I give the quarterback a lot of credit. A lot of guys would have fallen down or stumbled or whatever. He didn't. He got in the end zone, so I give him credit for that.
I know that one wasn't a center run, but you know Trevor was kind of gassed a little on that. Christian said afterwards, "Gaff, we got to be."
You're talking about the other plays
he ran.
Yeah, those.
That one, there was obviously.
Yeah, those were frustrating plays. He had at least 2 or 3 And we talk about rush lanes all the time. We can't give you can't give any of these, and especially not an athlete like that. You can't give him that kind of opening. I thought the coverage on the back end was really good. I think that's why Trevor pulled it down and ran. And when that happens, whoever we've committed to the pass rush have to make sure we don't let them get out and get that kind of yardage.
Felt like his snaps were going up and up and up. This was kind of flat, I guess. Is there any record?
Just from more of the standpoint of what packages we had in, because there's certain packages where he's in there, and for whatever reason we went with the other packages.
Coach, you like to identify what you call game wreckers.
Yeah.
On the opponent side. When you look at this Detroit team, what were some of the unique challenges?
They all had red on them. We always put the red on the game records. Yeah, they're. You see it. He's got a lot of weapons, and the guy pulling the trigger out there is pretty good. He's really accurate. His tops in a lot of different things. I flashed him up the other day. This is the number one scoring offense in the NFL, or was at least a week ago, whatever. I don't know where they are now. I'm sure they're still up there. Our thing always, our number one goal going into these games is to limit points allowed, and it'll be the same focus with all the weapons that they have. We're going to have to pick and choose who we quote unquote try to take away, and then some guys are going to have to do some heavy lifting on their own.
Specifically to Montgomery and Gibbs on that rushing attack, just what makes them so effective as a one-two punch?
Their skill just sticks out. They're similar in some ways, different in others. I think that 5 is a pretty powerful runner. I think they gear him plays toward that. 0 gets out on the edge quite a bit, and he's a threat as a pass receiver as well. And I'll tell you, they put them out there both at the same time, and that becomes a challenge. So, we got to tighten all kinds of things up. I keep going back. I wish we played better in the 2-minute. We'd be feeling a little bit differently about everything, because we played the run fairly well, except for the quarterback, but the quarterback's included. Hopefully that won't happen again this week.
Steve, with Kelvin Shepard and your time.
Oh, I'm glad.
With them,
yeah.
What does it mean to you to see him have success?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought him up. Kelvin, I think the world of Kelvin Shepard. When he played for us in New York those 2 years, he was our Nick Bolton. They're very, very similar. Those guys are kind of cut from the same cloth. I said to Kelvin at the time, I don't think he was thinking about coaching when he got done playing. I said, I think he'd make a heck of a football coach. And over the 2 or 3 years, I think he stayed out of it and kind of coached him. He got the bug. I think he went down to LSU first. And there were times that we talked about Kelvin and trying to get him here. I think he's doing a terrific job, and I'm really happy for him, really proud of him.
Steve, some of the things that the Lions do well, under center, play action, are some of the things the Chargers had some success with.
Yeah.
I guess, what's the challenge of that, and maybe what did you learn from them?
Yeah, well, anytime a team can be on schedule from an offensive standpoint and be a threat to us, run or pass, it's going to be a challenge. If we really need to create a couple of negative plays. First and second down are going to be really important. And then, as always, win third down. But they do pose that particular problem. They're really good at play action. In other words, they sell it. They match things up. They're really good, I think, and they have been for a long time. I know the coordinator's different, but they're really good at matching the runs with the play action, matching the motions that you're going to get and shifts that particular game, the run it, and all of a sudden there's a pass play off of that, and that's what you're talking about. And we're aware of that. But a lot of that's going to come, and I think our assistant coaches do a great job on defense in game, feeding to our guys. Okay, they ran this with that motion and shift. Expect this coming up. So hopefully we can be ahead of the game on those.
Coach, do you expect to see Omar be able to play more snaps this week? And what does he give you if you're able to do that?
Yeah, well, he was last week. It was he got dinged, and that was an unfortunate. But hopefully, I think he's okay. The practices. I think you guys were out there yesterday, so we didn't have helmets on, and so we'll find out where we're at when we can gear Omar up a little bit and see where he is at the end of the week. But I would anticipate and would have anticipated last week that his rep count would have gone up had he played.
We're going to go last three, starting with Baja.
Steve, just sort of turning this forward from last week, what's the coachable point on the ball that went off Trent, Drew, and Nick? Or sometimes quirky things happen.
That was pretty quirky. I would have expected. Listen, when it is bobbling like that, I've always said somebody has to go attack it. Don't try to finesse it. Not have to see it again. I remember when it happened. I thought we had it, and then it was on the ground. Drew and Nick could probably be able to tell you better what happened. But I think that someone's got to go up. And we always talk about the highest point. When that thing's bobbling up and down. Now, there was not an offensive player contesting it with the two of them. But when you're going after a football, I think you got to go attack it and grab it and pull it back in and go.
Todd?
That would
Coach,
be
when you're facing a team like this, and goes for fourth downs, does some unorthodox
Yeah.
things, how much preparation has to go in during the week to let the guys know, don't take your guard down just when you stop someone on?
Yeah, third down can be really second down. It's funny. It feels like every week we talk about, this team's going to go for it on fourth down. I just think that's where the league's going to. I mean, 4th and 2 at our 40-yard line to offenses is let's go get it. We do it. Other teams do it. So this week is not any different. I mean, we know Dan's real aggressive, and we're going to be planning for it. He did when we played him here 2 years ago, and we're practicing those plays that we think we might see.
Last one, sir.
Coach, last week we were talking about Noel Williams and his ascension, and then he only had 4 snaps.
Yeah.
What was the circumstance there?
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying that was not a reflection on any thought of how we thought Noel was doing at all. It was really just what we put out there package-wise. Like, if you guys notice, when Noel goes in, it's when Trent goes in at nickel. And, for various reasons, we went the other way with the pieces. And he didn't end up with as many snaps. That could change this week. I think he's doing a really good job for us. He's made it doesn't seem like it's been too big for him. I was really encouraged by that when he played a bunch of snaps the games before. And depending on which way the game goes in terms of down and distance, we'll see how many plays he gets in this one.
Thank you.
That all of them? Okay, thanks.
All right, there's Steve Spagnuolo, and yes, weighing in on the last play there for the Jags and the conversation around Noel Williams. And as he said, that Noel Williams is involved in specific packages that they have for the other team. And as he said, for some reason or another, we just went with the different ones. I think that for some reason is that, Shamari Connor out there, you want against the run more than Noel Williams, Jalen Watson, and Trent McDuffie in the slot. And whether you agree or disagree, I think that's what Spagnuolo does. Now, he did say, depending on some of those things, we could see him more this weekend. But he also said, depending on down and situation, we could see him more this weekend with Noel. But we also notice, he said, if you notice, we notice that when Noel Williams is out there, Trent McDuffie's in the slot. And I think that's why people are wondering why Noel Williams isn't out there more, because it does put Trent McDuffie in the slot, and it puts Shamari Connor in the not slot.
Yes, correct.
Which I feel like the Chiefs are a better team when McDuffie's in the slot and Shamari Connor's in the not slot.
And Shamari Connor's a good player, a useful player, just not as good. Not very good at all.
Not as a slot
in the
corner.
slot. He's a good safety, a good chess piece, just not in the slot.
Yep. Good to hear about Omar Norman Lott, that he said if he'd have played last week, his reps would have gone up, and he anticipates his rep count will go up this week. So good. More and more that Omar Norman Lott is out there, the better this defensive line can be, because they need him to be out there, to be a guy that can rush the passer without having to blitz as much and create some of those things. And he also said, the last play, he said, it was a weird deal. You never assume he's down or someone else will make the tackle. We talk about that. You got to finish, which is the second time somebody has said you don't want to assume that he's down. Andy Reid said that yesterday. Steve Spagnuolo said it today. We'll see if Chris Jones says the same thing. Matt Nagy's coming up here in just a little bit. But he said, we just needed to get him down. There were other things, and I don't want to get into all of that, but things that we could have done better. And again, I don't think he wanted to get into the fact that, multiple times Trevor Lawrence escaped and ran, and he said those were really frustrating because you have to keep your rush lanes, and you can't give him that kind of opening, especially an athlete like that. And as I pointed out, the 2 rushing touchdowns for Trevor Lawrence, both times Jerry Tillery escaped his rush lane integrity, and Trevor Lawrence escaped right through that wide open gap that Tillery had abandoned because he was trying to just win his one-on-one battle in any way he could, which meant, let me try to go around this guy over here.
He's not good enough to do that.
100%.
He's not good enough.
You're not going to get the sacks. You're not winning one-on-one anyway, so then be 1 of 11.
Yeah.
And that's what he needed to do on those particular reps. He didn't. And there were 2 rushing touchdowns. And I am drawing conclusions, inferring what Steve Spagnuolo is saying, that there were other things that could have been done on that play it's not just about 95. And he said, we assume he could have got. By the way, he even said we assume he could have got there and made the tackle. Chris Jones, but said there were a number of other things that did not happen on that play that should have happened. And I don't think it is in the coverage. I mean, I'm not sure what coverage you would want. The coverage looked like they had everybody taken care of. Now, McDuffie was in a tough spot because he's over there with a guy one-on-one, and Trevor Lawrence is running to him. If he runs up to get Trevor Lawrence just drops it off to the, I think, tight end or whoever it was there for a touchdown. So there was nothing McDuffie could do. Once he got away from Tillery, that was a touchdown, either by running or passing, depending on what Trent McDuffie did. There's just nothing you could do at that point. So I think the coverage was fine. I'm assuming that it's something with the defensive line or the blitz, or did Drew Tranquill go through the wrong spot to blitz? Was Jerry Tillery actually rushing the right way to his left and Tranquill was supposed to peel around? And I don't know. Maybe it's not all Jerry Tillery on that particular one, because you had Tillery going to his left, Tranquill going against the left side of the defensive line or the right side of the offensive line, and Chris Jones over there as well. You had three guys that were sort of in the same spot. So you shouldn't have three guys that are being blocked by two. And that's what it sort of felt like with that. Here is Matt Nagy.
Coach, I know the result wasn't what you guys wanted, but it looks like the offensive efficiency has really picked up. What are you seeing that's kind of working together with that?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's not – we always want to make sure that we go back to 2 weeks ago. You heard me mention about an identity, and I think we're getting closer to that. I still think we're working through some things, but part of getting Xavier back is a big part of it, which is great. But in the end, the only thing that matters is that win. And you just look back at you go back to the middle of that game. We had 2 3-and-outs there at the end of the half and in the start of the third, which the last couple games we've been good at the start of the third quarter. This one we went 3-and-out, followed by an 11 or 12 play drive that ended with a pick six. So that was a 14-point swing. So there's good within there that we're doing. We like that. We can build, but it's the situational stuff when you have a game like that you want to take advantage of. We didn't do that. I think the beauty of who we are is we stick together, we learn from it, and we got to correct it.
Asking Patrick about the scouting looks,
Mm-hmm.
and being in your position, have you seen many more of those throughout the course of the season? Because it looked like the pick six was something where he wasn't expecting, he just got got. You seen a lot more of those?
Yeah, it's common when you have a quarterback like we have that teams are going to try to do as much as they can and break tendencies, which we're well aware of, and credit to them for having a guy that was in the right place at the right time and that sort of thing. So that's part of the game. I think all that said, we also want to just step back and for us and just say, okay, that happened. That's sudden change. That's our job as an offense to score. We gave up 7 points essentially. And then what I was proud for the offense of doing was at the end of the end of the game to have that drive to go in there down 3 and go up 4 was good. But we can't put our defense or our team in that situation. When we start off fast, 14-0, we got to end it, and we got to keep our foot on the pedal.
Matt, speaking of tendencies there. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Whoever.
Yeah, Matt, speaking of tendencies in the red zone and down and distance, how often do you guys keep tabs on making sure you aren't going to the same thing over and over?
We live in that world. I mean, that's something that's very normal for a lot of teams, and we want to always be not just on what the defense does, but also what are we doing. So we got to make sure that we do that. And again, there's sometimes some plays that look wide open that weren't schemed the right way, or they are wide open and they weren't run the right way. So that's just how the game goes. But that was one play. Obviously, we want to have back, but there was a lot of good plays in there too that we want to grow from.
Isaiah, a little closer to the player. I mean, we've seen the
Mm-hmm.
of this game. I guess what do you think led to that break?
Not sure, other than just we all had talks with him, just like be yourself, just go play, don't put pressure on yourself, go out there, cut it loose, have fun. He has an unbelievable personality that's infectious, and I think sometimes, when you get in moments where you're just not having the success that you want, you can start to press. That's human nature. So it's our job as coaches to just say, hey man, cut it loose, go have fun, and I think we felt that in that game.
Hey Matt, 5 weeks in, just State of the Union with Josh Simmons, what you've seen from him.
I like where he's at. I think he's in a good place. If as a young guy, rookie, you want to be able to have somebody that's growing, and he's doing that right now. Impressed with how he practices. And I go back to kind of our thoughts in training camp. We said there's going to be a couple plays here or there where it's a big play, but you don't want it to be a game-changing play. And he's done a really good job. And I think this last game here was, again, one of his better games that we want to continue to just have him keep improving with. And I like where he's at.
Couple more.
And Taylor, I guess how daunting of a matchup is Hutchinson and just making sure.
Yeah, they're tough. They are. I look at these guys on tape. You see them on TV, and the word that comes to mind is relentless. I mean, their motor goes nonstop, and I think they work off of each other. That defense in general. I mean, they get one sack, they're looking to get that second sack. If it's a pressure, relentless is the thing that keeps coming to mind for me, and so we want to make sure they're not relentless on Sunday night.
We're going to go last two, Nick and then Matt. Or sorry, Matt and Matt.
On that last drive, Patrick had to throw to Hollywood that looked like it had a lane that could have been a big play there, had been completed. Was that, Patrick just pulling the trigger a tad early, or was that Hollywood just not being ready for the ball?
It's probably a little bit of both, Matt. It's one where that end of game situation stuff, we obviously practice all of that, and we have certain things for it, but I think probably the best way and easiest way to say is you got to certainly be on time with some of that stuff, and they were just off a little bit, and neither one of them was right or wrong. In that moment, we'd love to be able to have them both be on the same page so we can get down and call timeout.
Coach, you spoke about this a little bit, but what did that last scoring drive say about your team when you had to have it, you went down there and got it?
It spoke volumes to where we're at right now. We talked about it as a team, just making sure these guys understand when adversity hits, what type of team are we? And so you can take that to the offensive side and say, do we point the finger at the defense? Does the defense point the finger at us? None of that. And I think to Coach Reed and what he's built here, the culture of togetherness, the sideline the last couple of games has been phenomenal. And so we wanted to do our part by giving up that pick six, of going down there and making sure that we put together a good drive. Right before that, the defense got a pick, and we went in and took advantage of that. So it's complimentary football, and I was proud of the guys for that. But we want more, and we know in the end none of that stuff matters other than just winning. And we don't care how ugly or pretty it is. We want to win.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
All right, there's Matt Nagy, and the offensive efficiency. Talked about definitely picking up, getting closer to an identity, as he talked about a couple of weeks ago, finding that identity, and then saying what most everybody has said, that, he said, we start off fast, we have to end it and keep the foot on the pedal. And interesting, he pointed out those middle drives that were punt, up 14-0, and you went 3 and out, halftime 3 and out. And then he mentioned the interception, too. So really it was 4 straight drives. It was 3 and out, drive the length of the field, throw an interception, and then the next possession was a punt. So they didn't drive. When they gave up the pick six, when the pick six happened, the Chiefs didn't get the ball right back, and Patrick Mahomes and the offense drive down the field and score a touchdown. They drove to the 44-yard line of the Jags and then had that 3rd and 10 or 4th and 10 and punted it. So, they had 4 straight possessions where they did not score a point. And then they scored points on every other possession, including back-to-back touchdowns after that. And then that, turnover on downs in the last attempt to try to get into field goal range. I think we will be taking a timeout here between Nagy and Chris Jones. So we think it's going to be just a little bit with Chris Jones. So we'll take a timeout. We'll come back. More Zone next.
Well, I actually, 2 days before the game, I posted a Drake quote on see in a summary of 2026, and I deleted my social media before the game. I never run from constructive criticism. I've never been that guy. Always addressed it head on. Actually, it's a lot you can take from criticism. It's like fuel. It's like gas for me personally. So, for me to delete my social media, no, I didn't delete my social media because of a play that I thought he was down and then run to. I deleted my social media days before. It just, people I guess people wanted to address me head on social media, and they see my social media wasn't active, so they figured that I deleted it for that, but it was deleted couple days before, and I don't mind constructive criticism, I don't mind it. It's actually fuel for me. So for me to delete that, I've never been a guy. I've been in this league 10 years, never been a guy to run from it.
I guess with the extra attention with a team like the Lions coming in, I guess with everything, how motivated are you for Sunday night?
I've been focused on the Lions since the game. You know what I mean? You can't hold your head on one play or one game. It's a week in and week out thing. You learn from it. You take notes. You take the good, take the bad. It's never really as good as you seem. It's never really as bad as it seems. You just take the good with the bad, and you keep pushing.
Chris, you talked about got to be better at gap responsibility-wise as a defense. Like, what was your role on that play? Where were if he was still up, what was your job on that play?
Well, I was the three technique. I think I tightened down, and the linebacker was coming through the A gap. So my job was to play the three technique like I was doing. But on that, I got to finish. I can't think or assume that he's down. I got to finish. I'll be better.
How surprised were you guys that the quarterback was able to kind of gash you guys on some key runs?
You know what? I give props to Trevor Lawrence. He played a heck of a game.
How would you assess the pass rush around you throughout the course of the season so far?
We're getting better.
Chris, I'm asking about the Detroit Lions offensive line. What are the challenges there with them?
They're battling a few injuries, but that group works really, really well together. I think they have one of the better right tackles in the game. Jared Goff has a lot of playmakers around him. Running backs, St. Brown. Excuse me for getting this name wrong. They got a lot of talent on that offensive side of the ball, and their running backs, some of the top tier running backs in the league, and they have one of the fastest receiver core in the league. So it's going to be a challenge for us, especially to get after their quarterback to affect them, to put us in a position to win this game.
Couple more.
Chris, is one of the lessons here for you is you're never too old to learn lessons?
That's the thing about life. Every day is a lesson. It's about what you take from it, man. Fortunately for me, I'm able to see it, and you guys are able to talk about it. But, you can take a lot from it. What I just took from it, you just got to finish. It's not like I quit on anything. I thought he was down. So from now on, I'll make sure I finish.
Last one.
You said you deleted your social media before, and you mentioned you posted something. What was the impetus between getting rid of it at that point?
Yeah, because I take social media breaks. I just came off of a 7-month binge of no social media. I go through the periods where I don't need any social media. Sometimes it's not beneficial for me if it's not any brand deals that I have contracts with. So once I finished my contracts with my brand deals, I was like, I don't even want social media. It's all a facade. So I actually deactivated all my social media. A couple days before the game, I called my agents and I'm like, do I have any pending contracts with any brand deals before I deactivate my social media? And it was like, well, we're working on it, but you can deactivate it. I was like, cool, I'm going to deactivate it before we go play Jacksonville.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Chris. Thanks,
Chris. Y'all take care.
All right, there's Chris Jones weighing in on obviously a big conversation this week about that final play and what took place on that final play, saying a teaching point for me Can't think the play was over. Thought he was down. Said that a lot. I just thought he was down. Realized it wasn't over. Then said, I didn't quit. And the teammates understand, what happened on that play, but re-emphasizing later on that I didn't quit, and also continuing to go back to, I have to make sure he's down. I'm not there to think. I'm there to finish. My job is not to think, but to finish. And then the social media aspect of it, that he posted a Drake quote 2 days before the Jacksonville game and then deleted his social media, deactivated, whatever you want to call it, 2 days before the Jacksonville game. But the timing of it was such that after that game, people went to his social media, saw that it was deactivated, and said, wow, he turned this thing off. He must have been getting a lot of flack, saw it immediately after the game and said, no, I'm not going to see this because it can be toxic. But an explanation that I think would be easy to, see if it holds water if he had a conversation with his agent 2 days before about what are my contracts. We don't have any right now. We're working on some. Okay, I don't have any obligations with posting stuff on social media. I'm going to deactivate. And they said, well, yeah, go ahead and deactivate right now. You don't have anything pending. You don't have any contracts or anything like that. It sounds reasonable.
I like it, honestly.
And he said, I take breaks from social media a lot. And this was, taking a break from social media, but also said it was tough to watch for him. It was a difficult watch to see that on film, that he just simply thought he was down and stopped, and then saw that he wasn't, and then thought they were going to tackle him, and then stopped, and then at that point it was too late.
I don't always love when they say learning moments or teaching moments. At some point you're like, you've learned this. You've been taught this before. Maybe you forgot it, but you don't learn to finish the play.
Yeah.
You don't
play to the whistle.
You
play
don't.
to the whistle,
Yeah.
play
You
to the
don't
whistle,
get
play to the
taught
whistle.
that at age. You don't sit there and go, yeah, well, that's new for me. No,
I think here's what I would say to I thought he was down and the play to the whistle.
That's fine if you thought he was down. That's way more understandable to me.
But this is where different players bring different things to the table. George Karlaftis does not have the pass rushing and game impact, high-level game wrecker ability that Chris Jones has. Sure. We know that. But George Karlaftis has a Tamba Hali motor that doesn't stop and will continue to run. The 3rd and 15 play, right before the pass interference in the end zone, was a quick little dump off to, or 2nd and 15, was a quick little throw to Diami Brown on the right side. Who made the tackle? Karlaftis was rushing the passer. The pass goes, he turns around, runs as hard as he can, dives, grabs him around the legs, 2-yard gain. Next one was the pass interference in the end zone. We've seen Karlaftis against the Bills in the AFC Championship game make an extreme hustle play. I bring that up because different players bring different things to the table. Typically, when Chris Jones thinks that he's not in the play anymore, he can stop.
Yeah.
Not he can, but he thinks he can stop, and he does.
Yeah.
You watch some plays, and if he's being blocked and the quarterback goes away, he kind of just then is like, all right, well, that's that way, so I'm done. We've seen that before from Chris Jones. So, to me, the lesson is I can't assume he was down. It doesn't hold much water for me because he assumes he's not a part of the play a lot in games. Now, some of that is for him preserving energy because he's carrying more weight, takes on a tougher task in double teams in the middle of that defensive line where some edge rushers are going one-on-one and maybe there's more energy to burn. I understand all of that. But the lesson of don't assume he was down and don't stop playing, I feel like, that's just part of Chris Jones's game. He's not a guy that will continue to work and work and work and work and play to the whistle unless he's upright, is winning to some degree in his pass rush, and the quarterback is in the pocket, and there's a chance to get a sack. That's just it's the good and the bad with Chris Jones. Karlaftis is going to be a guy that's always going to play to the whistle, that will continue to work and work and work. But he's also not an immediate impact player and winning quickly and a game record to offensive lines the way that Chris Jones can be. They offer different things. So Chris Jones stopping on that play is not a surprise if you watch Chris Jones specifically in game film and the All-22 when the play is going away from him. This one just happened to be spotlighted because of the touchdown run and because he was just standing there and watching, and Trevor Lawrence broke tackles, and there was plenty of opportunity for Chris Jones to run and then maybe be in position to make the tackle. This one stands out. I don't think it's out of the ordinary for Chris Jones on plays, though. Just what I've seen. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, continue rolling more zone next. NFL fans, what's your favorite touchdown? Well, for me, it's the next one, because with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, every touchdown, it can bring you closer to cashing in. From first touchdown scores to anytime touchdown props, or simply the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap, it's loaded with opportunity. And here's the best part. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins for new customers, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Your team hitting pay dirt pays out to you. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 810WHB. That's code 810WHB for new customers to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets instantly if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, Kansas only. Eligibility restrictions apply. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, bet must win to receive reward.
We'll play some sports or leisure coming up in the 1 o'clock hour. Appreciate Dewey's dropping off some pizza for us today. Dewey's Pizza Ranch Mart off 95th and Mission. And, the Overland Park location where you can have some of the fantastic Dewey's Pizza with some of the best crust that you're going to have. I know when we talk about pizza, it's like, no, that matters, man. How many times have you been to a place, you eat the pizza, you stop at the crust? You don't do that at Dewey's. You eat the pizza.
You crush the crust.
You crush the crust, man.
You don't even need ranch for it. Sometimes
That's true.
some pizza places, I'm not going to lie to you, some pizza places I'll rock. I'm like, okay, I'm still going to eat the crust because I'm not a child, but I'm going to have to put this in ranch or barbecue sauce. No, Dewey's, I'm like, I just need, don't give me
Barbecue
anything.
sauce?
Well, it's some
What do
barbecue,
you mean? You
barbecue
not do
pizza.
that?
I've never heard of that.
You've never had barbecue pizza before?
No, that's fantastic, but I've
Okay.
never heard of like dipping the crust in barbecue sauce.
Yeah, I do it all the time. It's
I see what you're
a
saying.
great
I've never
move.
done it outside of having barbecue pizza, so I'm with you on that one.
No, I do
so
all
I've
the
never
time.
done that. But some places have to put like extra different spices on their crust and really,
Don't need it.
Doll it up, a little lipstick and ruse. You know what I mean? To be able to do that. But
Dewey's does it well.
That's exactly right. Yeah, so check them out and fantastic combos that they've got going on right now with different ingredients, including some pizza or chili on the pizza as well. So go check that out. It is Dewey's with some fantastic stuff there, and appreciate them dropping off the food, and also gluten-free crust available upon request at all the Dewey's locations. So something there for everybody there at Dewey's, including some awesome crust. So and by the way, good salad as well. So sometimes you go there and not everybody's in the mood for some pizza. Yeah, salad works as well. So there you go. 913-912-4810. We'll play some sports or leisure coming up in the 1 o'clock hour.
Fact.
But I feel like we're going to change the game today.
Oh.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to get both. I think you're going to have to get sports and leisure today.
It was
I just want to make it.
It was fiction.
Right, I know. I just want to make it a little bit tougher. Just a little bit tougher. So after talking with Matt Lane, and yeah, we can get into some of the things we heard from Dave Tobe, and we talked about and Spags and Nagy and Chris Jones, and we talked about those things in the middle of each of their press conferences and their media availability time. So certainly there's some other things to get into and talk about, but I wanted to address this. You know, we talked with Matt Lane, and I brought up that watching the game on Monday night, that when the Chiefs ran out there with 2 minutes and change remaining, that I made the note that here comes a 3 and out. And they came out for the second half, and I made the note that, don't know why, but here comes the 3 and out. And they did. And I'm like, man, when have they taken advantage of that sort of double dipping, last possession of the second quarter that you have, and then your first possession of the third quarter? When have they been able to do that? And Matt was like, actually, they've been pretty good. This was the first time that their first drive of the second time, the first drive of the third quarter that they haven't got points out of it.
I was
They
trying to
haven't
think.
scored a touchdown.
They had the field goal on the fire drill. Did they get the ball to start the second half?
And scored a touchdown. Their first drive of the third quarter, they scored a touchdown.
So that was 10 points then. Or was it 9? Did he miss the extra point there?
Yes, because then it started the 2-point conversion thingies.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, Philly, they got the touchdown before half, and then the third quarter they turned it over on downs. Went for it early, got aggressive, turned it over on downs.
On their own side of the 50.
On their own side of the, yeah, exactly. That ended up being what would have been a 3 and out if he punted, but it still wasn't points. They turned it over. The Giants, they got a field goal and a touchdown. Baltimore missed field goal and then a touchdown.
Yeah.
And then this one was punt. And so his point was, this is the first time all year to where their last possession of the second quarter and first possession of the third quarter both resulted in punts. And so then I'm like, so why on Monday night did I have that specific feeling?
Because you're very pessimistic.
No, I'm usually the more optimistic one. And so I started thinking about that while we were listening to the press conferences there. And Matt Nagy saying that middle portion of the game where they went 3 and out, interception. And then, by the way, after the interception, you got to throw in the punt.
Yeah.
So they went 3 and out, interception, and then punt. So the Chiefs didn't throw the pick six and then get the ball right back and drive down the field and score a touchdown. They threw the pick six, drove down the field, punted. Trevor Lawrence threw an interception. They scored the short touchdown. Then the Jags score. Then the Chiefs have that amazing drive and score, and so on and so forth. But he said, we had those 3 and outs. We got to be better and start off fast. When we start off fast, we have to end it and keep the foot on the pedal. And so I was thinking about that, and then connecting it to our conversation with Matt Lane, and I'm like, did I expect a 3-and-out there because I have seen the Chiefs not put a team away? That it's like, here's an opportunity to completely control this game. Not just your back and forth and, oh, what a big drive to get that field goal. Oh, what a big drive to come out the third quarter and score because you're trailing, right? Not one of those things, but you can pretty much stranglehold this game against a team that that you can just right out of the gates dominate, right? Right out of the gates dominate. And they went 3-and-out. And so now I'm wondering, like, at that point, is that me and the unfortunate history of Chiefs fans watching and knowing, and analysts watching and knowing that this is a team that doesn't typically just put a team away immediately. Even the Ravens, they still had that 6-point swing before half. Missed field goal, then a field goal, and they were up 10 when you're like, they should be dominating this team, but they're only up 10 at halftime, and you're like, if they come out and don't score in the third and the Ravens do, now you're up 3 in a game, you feel like you're dominating. How does this always happen? Well, then they came out, scored, stopped, score, and at that point, they did put the foot on the gas pedal last week. But I don't know. I think, as I'm thinking back, I think it's the been there, done that of the Chiefs with an opportunity early to just take complete control of the game and keep them at arm's length, that they just don't simply do that. And so I'm like, I don't think they're going to even get a first down on this drive. And they didn't. And so I think that's more from what it is rather than just the doubling up last drive of the second quarter, first drive of the third quarter. I connected it that way. But I think it's more even independent of when it happens that the opportunity there isn't typically seized by the Chiefs offense historically.
And it's why I was maybe less, it sounds crazy to say, less disappointed in the pick six than maybe a lot of folk, or at least I'm less putting a ton of, I know the EPA and all that stuff added. Those are great numbers you pulled, but for me, I'm sitting here going, insane plays happen almost every single game. You'll watch an NFL game and you'll see a play that you're like, I don't know if I've seen that in a game before. I mean, the Titans-Cardinals game had a couple. This game had, there's always going to be a game-changing play. It's what you do to not focus on that one. I mean, again, I go back to the Jags in that game, 4th and inches, Trevor Lawrence tries going over the top, ball gets punched out. Even if there's a lot of things can happen, but the point still remains, I think most times, more times than not, that's going to end up being a touchdown. 4th and inches, Trevor Lawrence 6'6", he's just going to plop that thing over it, but Bolton read it correctly. Just how, again, Devin Lloyd read that play correctly. It's what they did before and following that really got my goat. Because you're going to throw an interception in games. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
But how do you come back? What did you do leading up to that? And again, that gotta have it drive, they had it. They got it. It was great to see. But 3 punts surrounding that pick six, it's that little swan in the middle of the game that really gets me. Because I almost try and push back a little bit on the stuff you can't count on.
Yeah.
I don't count on that pick six because crazy stuff happens in the NFL. It's the other 3 drives surrounding it where you punt on all 3 that really gets me.
It's like the Chiefs only have 2 turnovers this year. And both turnovers were at the 1-yard line. Like bouncing off Kelsey's hand and then caught in the end zone.
Yes.
And then Lloyd catching it at the 1. Like, they only have 2 turnovers, and both times would have resulted in a lead in the second half. Not fourth quarter, but a lead in the Eagles would have been a lead in the fourth quarter. This would have been a 21-14 lead in the second half, and it didn't happen. And, like, people that have looked at it, and it's like, well, it's equaling out the fumble at the goal line. And it's because we know that the Chiefs went 5 plays, 97 yards, that we can say that it equaled out because the Chiefs got the touchdown.
Correct.
But if Devin Lloyd gets tackled at the 20, if Mahomes slows him down and Kareem Hunt's there and pushes him out of bounds or something, I'm not guaranteeing that the Jags are going to go down and score a touchdown there.
No, not at all.
We have no idea. they might have gone 3 and out, and the Chiefs get the ball right back, go and score a touchdown. It's 21-14 now, in the way that it would have been with the interception at the goal line. But it's one of those to where I look at it, and what are the odds of the only 2 turnovers for the Chiefs in the entire season through 5 weeks are game-changing plays that resulted in essentially 14-point swings in both games that you lost by 3.
So high that you can't even bet on DraftKings.
That's right. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, wrap up this hour next. Worthy will not practice today, according to the Chiefs. Everyone else will go and practice. Xavier Worthy did practice today. He was a full participant. I have no concerns about this. The reason is, yesterday, because of a short week, was not a typical Wednesday practice. It was a no shoulder pads, no helmets. Xavier Worthy can fully participate in sort of a walkthrough type practice. They're doing a little bit more today. Do you need him out there running and doing all this stuff on his ankle, or just have him ready for Sunday night against the Lions? Exactly.
The second part.
He's fine. Sports or Leisure next. know, you want to
Yeah.
brush your teeth. It's a good call. All right, let's go through the categories here for the sports side and the leisure side. On the sports side, we have a couple of questions left from the Royals 2015 postseason that we had last week. I will come up with a new batch when the World Series starts, and it'll be just about the 2015 World Series since it'll be a 10-year anniversary. But we have a couple questions left about the general postseason of that 2015 run. We have Chiefs questions. These are questions involving Chiefs, and answers are Chiefs, current and former. And then we have general NFL questions, questions around just things in the NFL that have come up this year with records and things like that. Those are the three categories on the sports side. What about on the leisure side, sir?
Sports nicknames.
Uh-huh.
So, for example, Broadway Joe.
Yep.
That would be Joe
That'd be
Namath.
it.
But none
Okay.
will be
Sorry.
quite that
Thought it was
easy
Joe Burrow.
with obviously the name being Joe. I will not do that. We have Name That Band. So we're bringing this one back. So, for example, if I say Blue Cold Jalapenos.
I'll go Red Hot. Would it be like, I don't know, jalapeno? No, you said jalapeno.
Chili Steppers?
Yep.
We'll go with that. Yes, so that's basically what it is. I'll say Blue Cold Jalapenos. You'll say, oh, that's Red Hot Chili Peppers. Okay, fun. And then that's basically music riddles. And then we have legitimate riddles, which are just legit riddles.
Legit riddles. Okay, very good. All right. I'm ready to go. Sterling, you good?
I'm always ready.
Oh, great. You like bologna. Born ready, right? Darcy?
Spam. More of a spam
I'm ready
guy.
to go.
Either one. He's ready as well. All right. 913-381-0810 to the phone lines we go. We bring in Mark first in on sports or leisure. Mark, what side would you like to start with? Sports side or the leisure side?
I will go sports.
All right.
And let's go the Chiefs or NFL. Let's go just general NFL.
General NFL for you. Okay, let's go with this one. Emeka Egbuka, he's been one of the best in the league so far. Another huge game. He now has accumulated 445 receiving yards through 5 weeks and 5 touchdowns. In the last 40 seasons, he's just the fourth rookie to have at least 445 and at least 5 touchdowns. Name any of the other 3 rookies to do what Egbuka has done for the Bucs. I will tell you, 2 of them are still active. One of them is still active on Sundays around the NFL, just not playing.
One of them is active on Sunday.
Yep,
Just not
but
very
2 of them are still active. Although one of them was inactive a couple of weeks this year, but he's back now. Anyway.
Let's go. Well, Randy Moss.
Randy Moss, there you go. He's the one active on Sundays, just not playing because he's around the NFL and ESPN. You want to throw a dart as to either of the 2 current guys? You've won. You've already moved over to leisure, but just for S's and G's, throw a dart to either of the current players.
Odell?
It's not Odell.
I was going to guess Odell as well.
Yeah, that would have been mine.
So you would probably know the one that I said was inactive a couple of weeks and now is back because you have him on your fantasy team.
Oh, Terry McLaurin.
Terry McLaurin.
Wow, I would not have got that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Jamar Chase.
Jamar makes sense. Yeah, Jamar. But yeah, I'm with you, Mark.
Randy Moss,
I would have thought Odell for sure.
Randy Moss, Terry McLaurin, Jamar Chase, Emeka Egbuka through the first 5 weeks. I would have guessed Puka, but Puka with receptions, but the touchdowns weren't necessarily there. But again, it's got to be 440 yards receiving and 5 touchdowns in the first 5 weeks.
Crazy.
So there you go. On to leisure with Sterling.
Name that band, basically riddles. We have riddles, which are normal riddles, and then we have sports nicknames.
Okay.
Let's go sports nicknames.
The Riddler. No, I'm joking. It would have been great, but it's not.
Do you want baseball, basketball, or football?
Let's go basketball.
Basketball. Maybe the best nickname in basketball history, the microwave.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. He could get off whenever.
He could heat up, baby.
The guy I'm thinking of, I don't know if it's going to be him or not. Can you give me a conference?
Yeah, I will say he played for a team in the same city that the Chiefs are playing this weekend.
Yeah.
Vinny Johnson?
Yeah.
Vinny Johnson, yeah.
Vinny Johnson.
Yeah.
Well, way to go. The microwave, Vinny Johnson. I was going to try to connect it to like Vinny Pasquantino some way if there was another
I was like,
hint
what
there.
team?
But,
I'm like, well, I'm going to say Detroit.
Oh, By the way, Mark, we'll put you on hold. Congratulations, sir. Well done. Did you see the Cal Raleigh's postseason?
Yeah, it's
mascot. He's
stealing
broken out.
Vinny the Pasquatch, and it is absolutely absurd.
Yeah, it's theft. It's theft.
Over $1,000. That's felony. Straight to
Yeah.
jail.
Right. But yeah, if you haven't seen that, his big dumper new mascot, I guess.
It's like the
is
dump
squatch.
Dump squatch, which sounds
So it's
horrible.
it's dumb.
That nickname is 2 scoops of ass.
Yeah.
2 scoops of
You
dump.
would take a dump on that. That's a big dumper is what that nickname is. Or just the name of the mascot for him.
Yeah.
All right. Back to the phone lines we go. We bring in Avery. Sports or Leisure. Avery, what side do you want to start with?
Hey, didn't Vinny Johnson go to Baylor?
I believe so, actually, yes.
I thought that's the clue we were going to get. I didn't know who played for the NBA. I'll do sports nicknames.
Sports nicknames. We will go with The Natural. This is NFL.
Can I do basketball?
Oh, you want basketball? Okay, yeah, we can do basketball. Basketball, we will go. Man, these are all relatively easy in basketball. Big Aristotle.
Oh, Shaq.
Shaq, yeah. Shaq had so many nicknames. I was like, which one's the slightly more difficult? Everyone knows Diesel. Big Aristotle. Shaq.
The Big Praxis.
Yeah, he had so many nicknames.
Okay, so it's the Dump-a-Squatch.
Ugh.
Like, just so stupid, man. Just so dumb. And it's like it's like a Sasquatch wearing a lumberjack shirt, blue and red, mainly red, not even Seattle Mariners colors, and then like a green hat that'd be like a Mariners hat, and sunglasses.
Thanks, I hate it.
Dump-a-Squatch. I wish he would have dumped the Squatch nickname there because he's the big dumper. Just go with that.
They do have Sasquatch up in that area, I guess.
Yeah, but is that where Sasquatch is at?
Yeah, I believe that's where he's.
I only see him above the Royals Hall of Fame. I have not seen the Sasquatch anywhere but above the Royals Hall of Fame. That's where I believe the sightings take place. But, everybody knows the Pasquatch is the nickname of Vinny Pasquantino. It's just dumb. All right, on to the sports side. Royals postseason 2015, Chiefs, and general NFL.
I'll do the Royals 2015.
All right, so we've talked about that Game 4 against the Houston Astros in the ALDS. In the 8th inning, who had the game-winning RBI?
Oof.
They were down 6-2. They left that inning up 7-6. So that was the game winner because the final was 9-6. Hosmer hit
you
the
don't win
two-run
every
shot.
week. I'll just guess Lorenzo Cain.
It was not Lorenzo Cain. But you know what? That's a good guess because he did bat that inning. So he was definitely in the lineup. So you had 1 out of a 9 chance, I guess, to do that.
Super duper, guys. Have a good one.
Appreciate you, brother. 913-381-810. Like I said, I only have a couple left for the 2015 postseason. Typically, when we get down to the last ones, they're usually the ones that I would think are the hardest. Sometimes it just happens that way, but these are the last two. That question is out there. Back to the phone lines we go, and we bring in John next up to play Sports or Leisure. John, what side do you want to start with, sports side or the leisure side?
We'll go sports side, and I think I want to try to tackle that Astros-Royals question.
All right, who had the game-winning RBI in the 8th inning, drove in the 7th run of the game and the 5th run of that inning?
Oh, gosh, so...
I have another fresh one from 2015, but we can go with that one.
No, I'm just I'm thinking through because I know Rios led off, and he got on, and we loaded the bases because it went like Rios, Escobar, Zobrist, so
I'll give you a hint here. I'll give you a hint. It was an RBI, but it was not a hit.
Oh, okay. That makes
that put us ahead, though. It was the
Yep. There was 1 out in the inning, and the RBI scored the run from third to put it at 7. 2 outs. Rios walked because he batted twice and got on base twice, and then Alcides struck out. Well, if you go through the lineup a little bit, kind of starts to give it away, but But yeah.
I'm thinking Gordon hit a ground ball to the right side, and that drove in the run. So I'll go Gordon.
Gordon hit a ground ball to second base that drove in the run. Nice job. And then Rios walked, and Alcides Escobar
I was
struck
thinking
out.
of the one that.
And then Hosmer hit a 2-run shot, but Gordon had the game
I was
winner.
thinking of the. I don't know why I kept thinking of the. I thought you were asking who hit the one that Correa booted.
Oh no, that was Kendrys Morales.
That's why I was like, and I mouthed to you Morales, but I was thinking of something different.
That's when you knew the Astros were melting down.
Correct.
When that happened, it was like, okay, here come the Royals. They're going to win this thing. They're going to win this game. Go back home. Cueto's pitching, and they're going to win the series.
Yeah.
Right when Correa booted that, it had a lot of spin and stuff on it, but whatever. I started to get a good feeling when Rios led off and Gomez could have made a play, but decided just to stop and hold up. And you're like, well, they were up 4. Is that the way you want to play it? Up 4, make sure nothing gets past you and some rally doesn't start? Like, okay, could have maybe caught the ball, but I'm going to play it safe, up 4, and then a base hit and a base hit and a base hit and an error. And
Which, if you remember, in Game 5, he misplayed a ball, and it resulted in runs.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then in the American League Championship Series, Bautista misplayed a ball in right field that resulted in the rally that the Royals had there in the 8th inning against David Price. Anyway, on to leisure with Sterling. Now that we've gone back through that tunnel.
Sports nicknames, riddles, and then the kind of music riddle one.
Well, I'm thinking sports nicknames, but the one that you talked about with the natural, that wasn't Will Clark, was it? In the
No, that was a football and nickname. The natural was a football nickname.
Yeah, no, the natural in football is Arch Manning. That's what
it is not that.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was the nickname given to him before we saw him play. My bad.
So we can do sports nicknames. Like we can do baseball, NBA, or that one NFL one.
Let's do a baseball nickname.
Baseball. We'll go with Chicken Man.
Chicken Man. I know the chicken. Oh man, is this like an old time?
He eventually played. He played into the 90s. When did he eventually retire? He played a long time. He's a Hall of Famer.
Oh, from what he ate. Oh, that's Wade Boggs.
Wade Boggs, yes.
Nice job.
These days, what he ate chicken. Yeah.
Yep.
When did he retire? Did he play in 2000? I'm trying to think when his final year with Tampa Bay. 99. Final year was 99. Wow.
That's crazy. We'll put you on hold and get your information. Congratulations, John. Well done.
Thank you, guys.
It's weird because, Chicken Man, the nickname of what he ate, but I feel like when we're talking about things consumed by Wade Boggs, it's not chicken that we remember. It's
beer.
The beer on the plane and the 73 beers, 107 beers, whatever it was.
Totally reasonable.
Yeah.
Totally not made up at all.
100, it was over 100, but then he says it was more like 70. It's like, whoa.
I think it's probably more like 28.
I just love that it's like Wade Boggs is like, whoa. I just want to set the record straight here. People are exaggerating that number. They're saying it's in like the hundreds. That's absurd. It was only like 70. Okay. All right, to the phone lines we go, 913-381-0810. We bring in Kirk to the conversation here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Sports or leisure, Kirk, what side would you like to start with?
I guess we'll start with the sports side and go with them Chiefs.
All right, let's go with the Chiefs one here. Which one do I want to go with here? Get it started. Maybe a little bit of an easier one.
I'll take easy.
Okay, yeah, sure. Let's start with this one. Mahomes picked up his 17th rushing touchdown for his career. That is the most by any quarterback in Chiefs history, rushing touchdowns. Which quarterback has the second most rushing touchdowns in Chiefs history?
I mean, it's got to be, oh my God, I'm on the spot and I can't think of his name now. Right before Mahomes.
Brody Croyle.
It was not Brody Croyle. I promise you it was not. Don't listen to Sterling.
Damon Heward.
Nope, it was not Damon Heward. This guy
Brady
played,
Quinn?
He played after those guys and right before Mahomes.
Yeah,
Matt Castle.
I think it was Alex Smith. My God, I'm sorry. I had a mental block there.
You're good. You're good. Once you said right before Mahomes, like he knows it. It's just, you put on the spot, things happen like that. Alex Smith had 10 So 10 was the record. Mahomes is now at 17. And by the way, the record or the most rushing touchdowns for Mahomes in a single season is 4. He's already at 3. So I think he
shocked Kyle Orton in 2 games didn't have it. That's
Warren Moon
very
also
surprising.
Warren Moon also doesn't have the record for rushing touchdowns in a career for the Chiefs. On to leisure with Sterling.
Sports nicknames. Name that band / AKA. It's like a music riddle, and then actual riddles.
Yeah, we're gonna go name that band.
Okay, let's go.
Name that band.
This would be kind of fun. What era do you want?
I mean, anything before say 2000 would be great. Classic rock, I love.
Okay,
yeah.
let's go with it. Did you ever listen to KY 102 or 99.7?
I did it once upon a time. Yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to do it for you then because this is the only one that's going to actually work. So Purple Max, and there's going to be a KY influence in there. Purple Max.
Purple Max. Purple Max. M-A-X.
M-A-X. Purple Max.
Max. Purple Max.
Think of somebody that's related closely with Sterling.
Well, my mom,
that may
who
also
worked
get
with
to
someone.
That particular specific show.
Correct.
Well, I remember, wasn't there a show like Max and Tana? Or
Correct. Yes, and what was someone's last name on that show?
One more.
It was Max Tana Moffat, but it was Max
Tana Moffat.
It was Max and Tana originally, and then Max Tana Moffat.
I don't remember. All I remember is their first name.
No, you got it. I mean, we just said it was Moffat.
No, it's not his
Oh,
last name.
Moffat.
Max
Okay.
said, I
doesn't matter.
First name, yes.
Okay, I'll do a different one. If you don't know his last name, then you won't.
Playing
then
off
you
that
weren't gonna,
specifically.
You aren't going to get it if you don't know his last name off of.
Thought you were playing off his
someone's
first name
last
specifically.
name. It's okay. We'll do a different one then. Fat Elizabeth.
Sad or bad?
Fat, as if I'm.
Fat.
Mike Gundy.
Fat
Mike Gundy.
Elizabeth?
Yeah, like
Fat?
as if I'm Mike Gundy yelling fat.
Fat
Like
Elizabeth.
sturdy Elizabeth.
Something Liz, something Lisa.
Oh, you're right on it. You're
Yeah,
right on it.
But the first part, remember.
It's the antonym for fat.
Chunky Lisa, chunky.
Nope, those are the same. Those are synonyms.
Think of the antonym. Think of the antonym.
Still synonyms. You need the opposite.
Oh, okay. Opposite. Okay, I'm sorry. Skinny Lisa? Oh, Thin Lizzy?
Yeah, Thin Lizzy.
Nice
What's
job.
a better name, Fat Elizabeth or Thin Lizzy? I don't know. I don't know.
Who could possibly know that? Kirk will put you on hold, get your information. Congratulations. Well done. We take a timeout. We come back, continue rolling. 913-381-0810. More Zone next. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. We continue with Sports or Leisure on this Thursday, 913-381-810, playing for Johnny's Tavern. $25 we give away to Johnny's Tavern. A couple of injury updates that are going on as it is local team-specific related. One with the Chiefs, Xavier Worthy not practicing today with the shoulder/ankle. And he was a full participant yesterday when they had no pads, no helmets, lighter practice, I'm guessing install. I'm guessing the scout team looks, things like that. He's out there, lighter practice, no big deal. Today may be a little more of a tougher practice, if you want to call it that. I don't know. And so you give him some rest. I have no issues and no concern about Xavier Worthy. If he got injured in practice yesterday, he would be listed as limited. He made the full practice yesterday, shows up today. I think he's fine. I think it's one of those you give him rest and you manage it. And it may be something that he has to manage that ankle until the bye week. This is maybe something that they deal with over the next number of games. As far as the Detroit Lions go, Amon-Ra St. Brown, who missed practice yesterday with a wrist injury, is back at practice. So that wrist apparently is progressing for him to play this weekend. I didn't think he was going to be out. I thought Thursday would be a big deal, like what happens on Thursday, and he's back. And then with the Alabama game and Mizzou, showing up on the injury report last night was Alabama stud top 5 draft pick wide receiver Ryan Williams with an undisclosed injury. The latest about 5 minutes ago is that Alabama wide receiver is tracking well and is expected to be available against Missouri on Saturday. So that was I was like, hold on, what? Ryan Williams is on the injury report. Now, he was listed as probable when they put out that that stuff on Wednesday night in the SEC. Listed as probable, but an undisclosed injury. What's going on? Apparently, there is something that's bothering him. He played against Vanderbilt, had 100 yards and a touchdown. I think almost, maybe 100, maybe close to it. So he's still, Ryan Williams. But that was like, okay, wait a minute. Is he going to be available? It says probable. And it looks like he is going to be available to play on Saturday. Another one that once he was listed as probable, I didn't think there was oh my God, Ryan Williams is questionable or out. No, he's going to play on Saturday. They're going to have to deal with him. So it's fine. It happens. All right, let's go to the phone lines, 913-381-810. Matt, waiting to play a little sports or leisure. Matt, what side would you like to start with, the sports side or the leisure side?
Let's try the musical riddles.
All right, musical riddles.
Preferably not the Max Tandem off at one.
Okay. Do you know anything from like 2000?
Probably.
Okay.
Give it a whirl.
Clothed men.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
These are both both antonym.
Men?
Yeah. Clothed men.
Yeah.
These are antonyms.
These are men that wear clothes as opposed to the opposite being.
Is this a popular band?
It was a popular band.
Yep. Even I've heard of them.
Sorry, you said clothed, as in wearing clothing?
Yes. As in wearing clothing, and
men wearing clothes as opposed to
something else. The antonym of both.
The opposite being. Nope. Clothes.
I mean, I have plenty of antonyms. I just can't think of a band name that.
Well, think about it. Well, give me one. You talk it out. Talk it out.
Naked.
Yes,
Okay,
you're very close. That's part of the first part. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I think I got there. Bare Naked Ladies.
Bare Naked Ladies. Yeah.
Nice job, sir.
Yeah, which is funny because they were called the Bare Naked Ladies, but they were clothed men that played those songs. So
hilarious. Like that's. I mean, just the whole time they were playing a joke on people.
It's just a joke.
The whole time.
It's just a joke.
On to the sports side, we have one more question left from the Royals' overall 2015 postseason. We have a number of Chiefs-specific questions and NFL general questions.
Let's close out the Royals.
All right. In 2015, we actually said this last week, but not in question form. It came up in conversation during Sports or Leisure. But in 2015, there were only 4 players to make a start for the Royals in the entire postseason run. Only 4 pitchers made a start for the Royals through the divisional, the championship, and the World Series. Who were the 4 pitchers?
Cueto.
Mm-hmm.
Volquez.
Mm-hmm.
Ventura.
Mm-hmm. And this guy made 2 starts.
Yeah.
Over the course of.
I think it was Chris Young.
I think you are correct.
That's
Chris
a winner.
Young. We mentioned it because we were talking about who had the most wins. That was the question last week, and it was, or most innings pitched, I should say. And it was Volquez, and we were going through the different guys that would have been the in contention. And we're like, well, Chris Young did start a couple games, but he wasn't the answer last week. It was Volquez. But that is a winner for you, Matt. We'll put you on hold, get your information. Congratulations, sir.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. 913-381-0810 is the phone number. To play some sports or leisure, we head to the phone lines. We bring in Tim to the conversation. Tim, sports or leisure, what side do you want to start with?
What's left on the sports side?
So we have Chiefs and General NFL. That wrapped up the Royals 2015 postseason, which will bring back World Series specific once we get to, or maybe next week we do, I don't know, Royals Blue Jays Championship Series. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I'll bring the category back when it gets to the World Series at least. But we have Chiefs specific questions and General NFL.
And then on the leisure side, it's the classic rock riddles.
Correct.
Antonyms, sort of.
Some are antonyms.
Oh, I see. What, yeah, I guess some are. Yeah, okay.
We have riddles, and we have sports nicknames.
The first two? Rock riddles.
What was that now?
Would the next one be about as easy as the first two were?
I think it can be. Yeah, I think if you think about them, they're all fairly easy. You just got to think about it.
The one that's still out there. But yeah, do that one.
It's the pre-2000 right era.
Yeah,
because we're sort of classic era. Okay, perfect. Let's go.
Okay, we'll do that. Good friends. Good friends.
I know.
Good
is an antonym of the first part.
The first word's an antonym.
Yep.
Second word's a synonym.
Yep.
Yeah. Bad company?
Bad company, yeah. Good friends, bad company.
Good friends, bad company. That's right.
Love me some bad company.
I have a lot of people I know like that.
Good friends, bad company.
Good friends, but bad company.
They're not listening.
They are. All right, and they know who they are. It's fine. They're aware. They're very self-aware. Most people that are bad company, very self-aware.
I might be projecting, though.
I don't have any friends that are bad company. Ooh, well, then you're the one in the group. Sorry about that. All right, over to the sports side. We have Chiefs-specific questions and General NFL. What are you thinking? Which category?
Chiefs.
All right, Chiefs for you. All right, this is all-purpose yardage. So all-purpose yardage. Travis Kelce in the game against the Jags became the Chiefs' all-time leader in all-purpose yards. Who did he pass?
Could he be referred to as a member of the cloth in literal sense?
Well, this is all-purpose yards. So all-purpose is rushing, receiving, and return yards.
So he might not be the man of the clergy. Okay.
So all-purpose, something that Brashard Smith's going to break in his career.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, Travis Kelce, now the all-time leader in all-purpose yards.
Was he in trouble with the law once?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I got
this guy
that
was.
guy on a different question.
No,
well,
not at all.
way back when. Okay.
No, not that I can think of. No.
Nope. The X Factor, perhaps?
No. What do you think?
So it's relatively modern era since the 21st century started?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Am I just blanking on something totally obvious?
I mean, I don't think you're blanking.
Is it Dante Hall?
Yes, it's Dante Hall. Let's go ahead and get to the answer. Dante Hall is the correct answer, all-purpose yards, because of the receiving yards, the times he had rushing yards, and all of those punt and kickoff return yards. So Travis Kelce officially passed Dante Hall on Monday night for the all-purpose yards leader in Chiefs history.
It's crazy.
Cool.
And that is a winner. Tim,
hey,
well done. Oh, sorry. Oh, no. Whoops.
Did you hang up on Tim?
I meant to.
Did you dump Tim?
I didn't know that this.
Did you big dumper Tim?
I dump a squatched him. So you see these buttons here?
Yeah, I see
This one puts them on hold.
Yeah.
This one right next to it just goes to the next line.
Yeah,
it lost Tim and Shane.
Tim and Shane is gone? Well, we lost Shane a few years ago. He went to traffic. So, I mean, we're sort of used to that. Let's do this. Let's take a break because we need to anyway. We'll come back. We'll continue playing. I'll figure out how the phones work. and not fat finger the phone here as I did trying to put him on hold and press the wrong thing that just went to the next like 2 or 3 lines. I don't know. Maybe I pressed it a couple times. I'm not sure. We'll take a timeout.
Tim, call back. Tim,
Yep.
call back.
Tim, Shane, whoever. Just we got one more segment to go. More Zone next. All right, one more segment to go here on this Thursday edition of the show. Program coming up next. Eagles and Giants tonight, Thursday Night Football. We'll see what happens in that game, the Game 4 in the NL, both in Chicago and L.A. with the Brewers, Cubs, and Phillies, Dodgers. 913-381-0810 to the phone lines we go, and we bring in T-Box. Next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. T-Box, sports or leisure, what side do you want to start with?
Let's go with general NFL today.
Very good. We will we'll go with this one.
Is it easy?
You know, it might be. It might not be. I'm gonna do it just because it's fun. It's a fun name we haven't heard in a while. Jackson Dart had a passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown, and 50-plus yards rushing in his first career start. Can you tell me who the last quarterback is to do that in their first career start, have a passing, a rushing, and at least 50 rushing yards in the game?
Sounds like a Michael Vick type.
Was not very successful at the quarterback position. Had one really awesome moment in the postseason.
Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow is correct. Well done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tim Tebow. I'm like, that was kind of fun. Tim Tebow and
also,
Jackson Dart.
Fun name. I was thinking immediately Elvis Gerbach. I thought it was going to be
Something
last
random?
Chiefs play, like super random, like Elvis Gerbach.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's a great name. We don't talk enough about Elvis Gerbach.
Tim Tebow and Jackson Dart. Many people are saying, is Jackson Dart the next Tim Tebow? That's been the question people are wanting to know. Over to leisure with Sterling, T-Box.
Bring me one of those rock riddles.
All right.
An old one.
The oldest we have now is probably early 2000s. It's still rock music, but it's...
I'm dead. Bring it.
Okay.
Do it.
The White Ravens. Antonym.
White Ravens. The Black Crows.
Yeah, the Black. See, easy. Yeah, the Black Crows.
Easy peasy. There you go. Yeah. Nice job. T-Box, well done. We'll put you on hold, get your information. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, guys. K-Dog rocks.
Yes, he
we
does.
do
I
love
appreciate
K-Dog.
that. I'm going to press the
I'm looking at him right now.
I did the right thing. I pressed the right button that time.
K-Dog, someone said something nice about you.
Yep. He's working on his sports centers.
Yeah,
And
good for him.
He's busy, okay? He's
Good for him.
He's got a 10-minute warning, okay, before he's on the air. Let's go to Shane next up on Sports Radio 810. Shane, sports or leisure, wrapping up the game here with our final contestant, see if we can get a walk-off. Sports or leisure, Shane, what side?
Hi, fellas. Sports. I want the Chiefs.
All right, Chiefs question for you, and it has to be a fresh one, of course, because we've got the answers to the other ones. Let's go with this one. Travis Kelce moved into first place all time with the touchdown that he scored of most points scored in Chiefs history for a non-kicker, because the most points scored in Chiefs history is still Nick Lowry. But for a non-kicker, Travis Kelce surpassed this man to now be the all-time leader of non-kickers in points scored in Chiefs history. Who did he pass?
Well, I don't think the guy had the most touchdowns.
Now, we had a contestant a couple of contestants ago that thought a previous answer had to do with this fella. But it did not.
Might be my favorite Chief ever, which
really?
does not help you whatsoever, but maybe it does.
Nick Lowry?
Could make some sense.
Tyler Palco?
Heck yeah, baby.
Well,
Give me some Tyler Palco.
appreciate the
Love
hint.
me.
That's going to help me out because I think he was hinting towards the Priest Holmes. That's my answer.
Priest Holmes is correct. It was Priest Holmes with the most points scored of non-kickers, and man, just shows how amazing he was in that stretch that Travis Kelce has now passed him.
And such a longer time. I know running back versus tight end, but just the longevity of...
Unbelievable what Priest was able to do in touchdowns and touchdowns.
Such a short period.
And all the extra points and field goals that he made, too.
I loved Priest so much growing up at a Priest Holmes signed jersey, and I wore it so much that the signature wore off.
You studied to be a priest
and now,
based on that, too, for a
for a while.
semester.
I thought,
Yeah,
why
for
wouldn't
sure.
I? Because
right. Yeah, and
he
then
was.
Then
you could
change,
play football.
And you changed your last name to match up.
Yeah, it wasn't
with-
even Holmes
with
originally.
his- yeah, so that's cool.
It was Holmes.
That makes sense. Yes. On to leisure with Sterling. See if we can get a walk-off here.
All right, guys. It's you said all the riddles are gone for the music.
We have one left. It's a rock band, but it was a rock band from 2009-ish till now. A very popular rock band, but they started in 2009.
Let's try it, Sterling. I like your music categories.
Thank you. One of my favorite bands. Saw them a long time ago at the Beaumont Club.
Oh, cool.
Unleash the Hippo.
Unleash the Hippo.
Unleash is an antonym, and hippo is just a different.
Yeah.
Jason got it.
How did I get it?
Yeah, Jason got it.
Nice. Heck
Unleash the Hippo.
Well, if you got to leash something, you would probably put it back in its.
Oh, Jason, you're such a good hint giver. How about Cage the Elephant?
Yeah,
Cage
that's right.
the Elephant,
That's right,
yeah.
yes. Unleash the Hippo was the first name they thought of.
Yeah, they thought of Unleash the Hippo and they go, what else could we do? What's another name? Cage the Elephant. We'll cage it.
You can't cage an elephant. Exactly.
If I was PETA, that's what my name would be. Like if the PETA version is Unleash the Hippo.
That's right.
Hey, thanks for helping a fellow Bearcat out.
You're darn right, Shane. That's what it's all about.
And I'm going to say M-I-Z to you guys, too.
Z-O-U.
That's right. That's right. We'll take a timeout. We'll put Shane on hold. Shane, hold on. There you go. And we'll take, eventually, a 20-hour timeout.
Yes, eventually.
Once the show is
you
over.
You forgot this is the final segment.
No. I meant to say, Shane, I'll put you on hold.
Yeah, and then...
But, I was just so excited.
You'll take a 20-hour break. I'm going to take about a 20 plus 24 plus 24.
40, 68.
68-ish hour-ish break.
Yeah, that's good for you, man. Good for you. I'll be back tomorrow. Sterling will be driving.
I won't be driving. I'll be drinking Trops.
Sterling will be riding.
I'll be drinking Trops once we stop in Columbia.
There you go. And yeah, we'll be certainly talking some NFL, but we'll talk some Mizzou and Alabama as we'll have some guests on to break down that game. And Ryan Williams expected to play in the game, showing up on the injury report last night. Amon-Ra St. Brown returning to practice for the Lions, and Xavier Worthy missing practice today for the Chiefs.
Chiefs 29, Detroit 27.
Okay, there you go. Sterling.